get your seat. I just mentioned to our chief here, we might need a seat. You're in an on-deck seat. See, that's a problem. That's good. Good afternoon, good evening. It's a real, well, actually you will. It's a real pleasure to welcome all of you here today. I think you all know this is the evening for our budget hearing for the Forsyth County Board of Commissioners. We're glad to hear all the public comment here today that we can. And we have some people in an overflow room, so we have kind of created a little logistical plan so that we can have people kind of on deck ready to speak, and therefore we can eliminate a lot of waiting, traffic moving around time to come speak. And I do want to let you know I do have a timer, and we have 3 minutes to speak. And I'm not going to just, you'll hear it has a pretty, it just has a little beep that goes off, but it's not annoying. However, I would like to ask you to begin to close your comments at the end of the 3 minutes. And if you really don't pay attention to it, eventually I'll say, would you just stop, kind of end. So I think we're ready, and we have 6 people that are actually in our queue on the telephone. So we thought we would actually start with one of the, we're going to call 2 names, first 2, and they're just in order of the cards that we've received. And by the way, if you think of something while you're sitting here and say, well, I didn't fill out a card and I wish I had, you can do that. Just go and you can bring it up to our clerk, Ashley Matthews, here on the end, and she'll just add your card to the stack. So, but you do need to have filled out a card to speak. And when you do speak, just tell us your name and address, and then we'll be ready to go, and I'll start the timer for 3 minutes. So we're going to call her first 2 cards, and then we're going to listen to a phone call while those people are coming forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our first 2 speakers are Margaret Elliott and Dr. Antonia Monk Richburg. Please come forward, state your name and address for the record.
And let's get her person on the phone now. You guys sit in the first 2 chairs. There's the on deck. Here we go.
Margaret, you're welcome to go up to the podium.
Do you want to get your telephone person first? Go ahead and get one telephone person first.
So you want to call the phone person first?
Yeah,
Yes,
call her.
we can do that.
Yeah. Just trying to be consistent.
Thank you.
Thank you for calling the Forsyth County Board of Commissioners public session line. Please state your name and address for the record.
Lee Covington with Senior Services, 2895 Shore Fair Drive, Winston-Salem.
Thank you. Speakers will be limited to 3 minutes each, and a warning will be given. You may begin.
Good evening, Commissioners. I begin by expressing gratitude for your unwavering commitment to our community. For years, as illustrated on page 294 of your budget packet, you have championed the Meals on Wheels program, ensuring that our most vulnerable citizens receive nourishing meals and a friendly face at the door. Your support is a lifeline and a testament to your understanding that a strong community cares for all its members. That same spirit of compassion extends to your support of our new Intergenerational Center for Arts and Wellness. The center is a vibrant hub fostering connection and creativity across generations, having recently served more than 1,800 people in the month of April and growing. The center, thanks to your support, is becoming a cornerstone of our community's social fabric. However, as needs grow, so do the demands on our resources. This year, we're humbly requesting a modest special appropriation increase to further strengthen our Meals on Wheels program. Meals on Wheels isn't just about delivering food, it's really about delivering health and wellness also. These meals are specifically designed to meet the nutritional needs of older adults, helping prevent chronic diseases and improve overall well-being. Studies have shown a decrease in hospitalizations and nursing home admissions for participants in Meals on Wheels programs. Loneliness is a silent epidemic, particularly affecting homebound seniors. The friendly interaction during meal deliveries provides a vital social connection. For many, it's frankly the only human contact that they have all day. This social interaction can combat feelings of isolation and depression, leading to a better quality of life. By ensuring proper nutrition and a safety check, Meals on Wheels empowers older adults to remain independent in their own homes for as long as possible. This not only improves their well-being, but also potentially reduces the burden on families and healthcare systems. The return on your investment will be immeasurable, will nourish bodies and minds, fostering a more inclusive and vibrant Forsyth County. Think of the impact on a homebound older adult, no longer hungry and alone. These connections, this spark of joy, is the very essence of a thriving community. With your continued support, we can ensure that no senior goes hungry and that people of all ages have a space to connect, create, and thrive. Thank you so much for your consideration.
Thank you. We do our next two, and then you can call two, and we'll get our next caller. We'll get the six works. Here we go. Margaret, thank you.
Margaret Elliott. My address is 171 Wellington Court in Advance, North Carolina. I'm the Executive Director of Crisis Control Ministry and want to thank you all for this opportunity to request for county funds for the first time to help us renovate the Client Choice Food Pantry in our Kernersville office. Our application asks for a one-time request of $85,000 from your special appropriations budget. The Kernersville office location has not been renovated since moving into the building in 1981. While this brick and mortar renovation project is new and has not yet been implemented, it has been started. We've used our own funds, our current funds, to have preliminary plans drawn up and a property survey. The renovation will enable Crisis Control to sustain and expand critical services we currently offer in Kernersville and the eastern part of the Forsyth County. We have found, unfortunately, that our aging facility limits our capacity to help families in the same manner that we help them in our Winston-Salem office, for example. With rental and living costs increasing dramatically, so too has the demand been seen in the Kernersville Food Pantry. We are filling a record number of food orders each month, and we provide enough food to last any size family for a full 2 weeks. We provide access to fresh produce, meat, and other nutritional items that supplement tight budgets and families who find themselves in financial hardship. Currently in Kernersville, we operate from a food pantry located in 4 separate little rooms. In this office location, we ask our clients to choose food items from a long list of choices on a piece of paper, and the volunteers or staff members pack it for them. It takes a long time. It's neat and organized, but it takes a while. This is compared to our Winston-Salem office, where we started the county's first Client Choice Food Pantry in 2004, in which families and individuals actually shop in what looks like a small grocery store, freely moving around with a grocery cart, just like anybody else in the grocery store. The Client Choice Food Pantry is a model that provides dignity and respect to the individual and the family shopping. For the families with whom we work now, what we hear often are comments like, "Thanks so much for this large food order. With the money saved on groceries, I can now pay my rent or my utility bills." This proposed plan would open up the space to allow for clients to have more of a grocery store experience and to more quickly get their food. I'd be happy to answer any questions later. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Antonia Monk Richburg, and I am at 1700 Westfall in Kernersville, North Carolina. Good evening, Commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity to speak this evening. I'm here to present a vision that could transform Forsyth County and change lives for generations. The United Way of Forsyth County's proposed Community Empowerment Center. Forsyth County, particularly East Winston-Salem, is at a crossroads. Significant economic and educational disparities persist, with high poverty rates, lower educational attainment, and limited access to essential services defining the area. Families are grappling with underemployment, inadequate child care, and insufficient health care access. These challenges do not just hinder economic mobility, they erode the very fabric of our community where we all live, work, and play. The Community Empowerment Center is not merely a project. It is a bold statement of our commitment to our community's future. This center will offer holistic wraparound services, providing job training, financial counseling, and high-quality child care. By adopting a two-generational approach, we will meet the needs of both parents and children, focusing on economic stability, educational advancement, and health and wellness. Through partnerships with esteemed organizations such as the YMCA, Smart Start, and our local school system, we will deliver a comprehensive array of services. These collaborations will enhance our ability to serve, ensuring that every family receives the support that they need to thrive. The impact of this center will be profound in 4 ways: economic mobility, by offering job training and financial education, educational support through early childhood education and lifelong learning opportunities, health and wellness by on-site healthcare services, and community empowerment. The center will foster a sense of community, ownership, and engagement through volunteer opportunities and peer support groups, building a stronger, more cohesive Forsyth County. Your support for this initiative aligns perfectly with Forsyth County's goals of reducing poverty, improving education, and enhancing public health. The success of similar models like the Family Success Center in Gifford County demonstrates the transformative potential of such initiatives. By investing in this center, you are investing in the future of Forsyth County, laying the foundation for sustainable economic growth and better quality of life for all. As Nelson Mandela once said, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. With your support, we can wield that powerful weapon to create lasting change in Forsyth County. This is not just about helping individuals, it is about uplifting our entire community. Commissioners, I urge you to consider the long-term impact of your decision that you make this evening. By supporting this vital initiative, you would not only be addressing immediate needs, but also building a legacy of opportunity, a legacy of equity and prosperity for future generations. Thank you so very much for your consideration.
Thank you. You can call 2 more, and then we'll do another phone call.
The next 2 speakers are Chris Comer and Allison Perkins.
Thank you.
Thank you for calling the Forsyth County Board of Commissioners Public Session Line. Please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Reverend Dr. Randall A. Kane Jr., and my address is 885 Heron Ridge Road, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, 27106.
Thank you. Speakers will be limited to 3 minutes each. You may begin.
First, all of the county commissioners for giving us this opportunity to speak. In introducing myself, as Reverend Dr. Kane, I am the pastor of Zion Memorial Missionary Baptist Church, as well as the founder, chief executive officer, and chief investment officer of Caruso Capital Management, a local investment firm. But also specifically in me reaching out to you today, it is on behalf of Renolda House, Museum of American Art, where I am the current treasurer overseeing the finance and the investment committee, as well as the incoming president for this upcoming year. And I've had the pleasure of serving on this board for 3 years with the great leadership of Executive Director Allison Perkins. And I want to say I have truly seen the efforts that Renolda has spent towards cultivating experiences and environments that foster a sense of belonging, especially in the city of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, the city of arts and innovation. Now, this most recently includes 2 major exhibitions by African-American artists Kwame Braithwaite and Stephen Towns, which increased free admission opportunities like Renolda on the House, as well as Museums for All in the Library Pass program. An initiative to acquire works of art for the permanent collection, specifically by women and artists of color, to make sure that we are living into an environment of inclusivity for all. The museum firmly believes that everyone who visits should be able to see themselves in the art on view. On the other hand, as board treasurer, I've also seen the impact that offering free admission leaves on the museum's financial position. Staff salaries are the biggest line item, as I'm sure you can understand, in the museum's operating budget. And you can also understand that decreased admission revenue impacts the bottom line. Now, in terms of economic value and economic impact that Reynolda brings to our county, in 2017, the exhibition Georgia O'Keeffe, Living Modern, brought visitors to Forsyth County from all 50 states. And the county's funding for Reynolda in that year supported such dynamic results. In fact, that year saw a 140% increase in visitors from Charlotte and a 316% increase in visitors from the Raleigh-Durham area compared to the previous year. So working in partnership has been something that has been beneficial to Reynolda, but also to Forsyth County specifically. Next year, spring 2025, the museum will open another blockbuster exhibition with a name recognition that is in line with the artist Georgia O'Keeffe. Reynolda House is the co-organizer of a nationally touring exhibition about the American artist Andrew Wyeth. This exhibition will make its national premiere here in Winston-Salem before it travels to the Philadelphia area as well as Jacksonville, Florida. Through the efforts of Reynolda House, this exhibition will shine as a national spotlight on Forsyth County, and the museum anticipates just as much excitement for Andrew Wyeth as we witnessed in 2017. Having been born and raised in Winston-Salem and having had the opportunity literally to live around the world,
Sir,
the impact...
I'm sorry,
Yes.
your time is up. Can you
Okay.
do you have a way you can wrap up?
Closing sentence.
A closing statement.
Yes.
On behalf of the House, I respectfully request the commissioners to fully fund Reynolda's request of $75,000 to support the museum efforts. We believe this partnership is critical for Reynolda as well as for Forsyth County. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Chris, we're ready.
I will be short and sweet. Chris Comer, 136 East Mountain Street, Kernersville Chamber of Commerce. I'm the president there and very, very thankful to each and every one of you for all that you've done for us in the past years. I really want to share with you just quickly, there's 1,700 brick and mortar businesses in Kernersville. There's over 500 additional businesses in Kernersville that may not have a brick and mortar. We could not be prouder to be a part of Forsyth County. The impact of your support economically, Spring Folly, for those of you who haven't been, we've got our large street festival that is one of the 10 top Southern festivals in North Carolina. So we're really, really proud of that. We also do 3 music festivals. We have a Veterans Parade now, not on the same day as Winston-Salem. We want to celebrate our veterans all weekend. And the Kernersville Christmas Parade. Each one of those brings in thousands and thousands of people into Forsyth County from at least 50 miles away. We track that through social media. The relocation rate in Kernersville in the area continues to stay steady, with those moving to the community from Florida, California, Texas, Michigan, Pennsylvania. Why do we know this? They come in to relocate and talk to the Kernersville Chamber and ask how they can get involved in Forsyth County and live here. We appreciate the collaborative effort between the Kernersville Chamber and Greater Winston-Salem, Inc. The growth in Kernersville continues to be strong thanks to strong leadership and those collaborations we couldn't do it without. The Kernersville Chamber hosts and facilitates over 200 events and programs that strengthen and support small business and economic impact. We just appreciate the $5,172 you all that we've asked for, and it is a huge impact. I know it's small, but it's a very large impact for us. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Allison Perkins. Address is 5316 Fairburn Drive, Winston-Salem. It's my honor to speak with you today as the Executive Director of Reynolda House, and I'll modify my comments to dovetail what we heard from Reverend Dr. Kane. Chairman Martin, you might recall the launch of our free admission program through the Library Pass in 2017. So let me just update you and fellow commissioners on how that program has grown since that first launch. Reynolda House, our mission is to connect people with the beauty and the complexity of the American story. And we do that through the integration of art and nature and learning and history. We cultivate experiences that foster belonging in everything we do, whether it's out on the grounds or inside the walls of the museum. Renolda House applied for the $75,000 from Forsyth County to support free admission from Forsyth County library card holders and those receiving SNAP and EBT benefits. The funding to underwrite the lost admission revenue and to support visitor engagement staff is to support the shared goals of Renolda House and Forsyth County. And those are that we have a safe and healthy, a convenient and pleasant place to live with educational, cultural, and economic opportunities for all. Renolda hits all of these goals. The library passes started in 2017, have been checked out by patrons, and they can use them with their library card for a total of 7 days. Since 2020, in the year 2023, we serviced almost 2,400 visitors who checked out those library passes. We're also a participant in the Museums for All program, which is funded as part of the Institute of Museum and Library Services. I serve on their national board as well. Since 2022, we've been working with them, and last year, we had 906 visitors who accessed free admission by showing their EBT card at our front desk. As a reminder, children are always admitted free, children under 18, and full-time enrolled college students are also admitted free. I think of the museum as a really important gathering place, and in line with the American Alliance of Museums, their surveys reveal that people view museums as places to inspire, to make them happy, and to feel safe. Survey respondents have also reported that museums are trusted institutions, communities, and we're important at a time when there's an increasing distrust of institutions. Renolda's mission really centers on belonging, as Dr. Kane referenced. And we are very grateful for the past funding that we have received from the county, and we would appreciate your consideration for this request. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next two speakers are Dean Vavra and Jason Thiel.
Thank you.
Thank you for calling the Forsyth County Board of Commissioners Public Session Line. Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Sherry Carpenter, 3617 Squirewood Drive, Clemens, North Carolina.
Thank you. Speakers will be limited to 3 minutes each. You may begin.
Good evening. My name is Sherry Carpenter, and I'm the Chief Organizational Development and Mission Advancement Officer at Goodwill Industries of Northwest North Carolina. I'm calling in to express my support for Forsyth Tech's Trailblazer Promise. Forsyth Tech has successfully run a Promise program for over 3 years with positive impacts. Some of the metrics include persistence rates that are 6% higher among Promise program participants as compared to non-participants. Retention rates, especially for underrepresented students, have increased by 4%. These numbers are significant. Moving the needle every percentage point in retention is difficult and represents more people in our community getting the impactful education they need. The Promise program helps remove financial barriers, ensuring that our state meets its workforce needs to equip 2 million residents aged 25 to 44 with industry value credentials or post-secondary degrees by 2030. Achieving this goal requires enrolling more marginalized students, which is crucial for local and statewide success. In closing, I'd like to reiterate my strong support for the Trailblazer Promise and ask for your support of this groundbreaking program. In addition, I would like to say thank you for your ongoing support of the economic and workforce development efforts in the county, including those both for Goodwill and Forsyth Tech. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners. My name is Dean Vavra. I represent Miracles in Sight Eye Bank. Our address is 3900 West Point Boulevard, Suite F. I am the past executive director, current board member, and current chair of the Capital Campaign Committee. It's a pleasure to come here and speak to you about our need. The North Carolina Eye Bank is a 501c3 nonprofit, now known as Miracles in Sight. It's one of the largest eye banks in the world. It was founded in this community in 1951 and has been headquartered here since then. The eye bank has assisted in restoring sight to millions of people by providing corneal tissue. Our mission is to support restoration, preservation, and enhancement of sight through transplant, research, education, and innovation. With operations in Winston-Salem, South Carolina, and Texas, the eye bank each year recovers eye tissue from over 3,000 donors, provides tissue for 3,800 transplants, and donates tissue to research institutes to study diabetic retinopathy and age-related macular degeneration. Due to a catastrophic, devastating flood in our leased space in April of 2022, our board of directors voted to conduct a capital campaign to help us acquire and build out a new facility in Clemens here in Forsyth County. The new state-of-the-art building, once renovated, will house our headquarters. It will include 4 specialty labs indispensable for preparing eye tissue for transplant and research facilities. The new building and its highly technical labs will meet and exceed industry and regulatory standards. The eye bank will achieve the following objectives with its transition into the new building. 1, we position ourselves strongly for growth and thus remain the largest eye tissue provider in North Carolina. 2, we will create a dedicated space to train physicians and ophthalmic technicians in surgical procedures and the handling of human tissue and build a dedicated space for innovation, research, and service development. 3, we expect to not only retain 95 skilled and diverse workers, 64% of them diverse, but we'll also hire up to 10 additional employees within the next year. 4, we will continue to raise awareness and educating the public about the importance of donating eye organ and tissues. The North Carolina Eye Bank thanks the commissioners for past support and requests an additional one-time non-recurring grant of the same amount. Our board of directors has made a substantial commitment. Our organization funds towards the capital campaign. In addition, all board members have made individual contributions to support the campaign. In our 73-year history, we have not needed to ask for public or community support until today. We thank the Forsyth County Commissioners for considering our request to expand our vision and to further eye banking and innovation. Miracles in Sight takes grief away from people who have suffered a loss, and we make blind people see again. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Jason Thiel. I'm the president of the Downtown Winston-Salem Partnership, which is located at 515 North Cherry Street in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. The county has been good enough to be a contributor to our overall efforts, and this year we're asking for the exact same amount that we've had in the past, which is $20,000 a year. We believe that it serves as a good return on investment, and we use it for many organizational functions. Obviously, our mission with Downtown Winston-Salem, but I like to state it, it's for everyone. We believe in making downtown the best it can be and to make downtown available for everyone to use. I know that not everybody uses downtown throughout our county, but I do believe that it's important for our downtown to be the best it can be to increase economic development throughout the entirety of our county, and really for the region for that matter. Some of the things that we do that I'm very proud of is over the last 20 years, downtown has seen over $2 billion of public and private investment, which is a tremendous increase in taxable value to the property payers and to the tax revenues for both the city and the county. And that's something that as downtown has rebirthed itself through the growth of private investors, public investors, institutional investors, many other people. Our organization is really the clearinghouse for the large, widespread partnership of people that have as an advocacy for downtown. And it's a joy to work on that every day, whether it's the closure of Salem Parkway for 2 years, which was certainly hard, working with business owners through many different things, working with all of you through many different things. I want to say thank you for that. I'm proud that we'll be presenting our 26th season of our summer concert series. We have our Summer on 4th concert, the 26th season. That's something, those are free. I know that people throughout the county come to those. And we use many of our programs to improve the appearance of our downtown area so that when visitors come, we work very hard to make sure that we present a very favorable impression of people who come from wide and far. Thank you very much for your consideration for this request. It's not an increase from last year, but these are precious funds to us, and I know to everybody else here. And I want to, so many people I'd like to say thank you, but in the interest of time, I just will move on. Thank you.
The next speakers are Michelle Spees and Jay Nelson Weaver.
Thank you.
Thank you for calling the Forsyth County Board of Commissioners Public Session Line. Please state your name and address for the record.
Shalene Johnson, 2350 Queen Street.
Thank you. Speakers will be limited to 3 minutes each. You may begin.
Greetings, Commissioners. I am Shalene Johnson, Executive Director of ABC of NC, a local nonprofit organization providing specialized services for autistic individuals and their families, including diagnostic services, intensive autism therapies, non-public schooling for preschool through high school, and mental health counseling for autism's common co-occurring conditions of anxiety, depression, and obsessive-compulsive tendencies. Due to increasing autism rates, tripling in the last 16 years, there is a national shortage of qualified professionals in our industry, and the demand for autism professionals is estimated to continue growing by 30 to 40% per year for the foreseeable future. The increase in autism diagnoses is attributed to advances in autism diagnosis procedures and an increased awareness among healthcare professionals of the early signs and individualized expression. This increased demand provides a critical opportunity for job training, credentialing, and career momentum. Although ABC of NC is the largest center-based comprehensive and specialized center for autism in Northwest North Carolina, the workforce crisis has resulted in a wait list of over 3 years for ABC of NC services. One limiting factor to serving more clients is recruiting and training direct care registered behavior technicians and master's level board certified behavior analysts. I am here to ask for your vote in support of ABC of NC receiving $50,000 of the special appropriation funds in support of workforce development that will increase the number of trained and specialized autism paraprofessionals and professionals in our local area. ABC of NC will use the funds to onboard, train, and credential each registered behavior technician. We offer a pathway to gainful and meaningful employment by providing entry-level employees with on-the-job training and a national certification that is highly in demand and portable across the industry. To accomplish our goal of increasing organizational capacity and serving more families, ABC of NC will hire at least 20 more registered behavior technicians in 2024 and 2025 for a total of 40. Again, I ask for your support of our workforce development funding request, which will result in increased service accessibility for local autistic people while also providing meaningful employment and career specialization for many local residents. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Jay Nelson Weaver. I'm with Family Services, and my address is 1200 South Broad Street, and this is
Jennifer?
and we're sharing time. We greatly appreciate your consideration of the Family Services funding request towards a larger domestic violence shelter for our community. In addition to the 1,200 survivors we serve each year through the Bridges to Hope Family Justice Center of Forsyth County, Family Services also runs one of the largest domestic violence shelters in the state, and we serve over 175 people per year. About half of them are children. So a new, larger shelter will allow us to serve more residents and help them begin rebuilding their lives in safety and peace.
Thank you for your time. And just to add to what Ms. J. Nelson said, I think that having the addition with the new battered women's shelter would be such a great instrumental in helping those that have suffered from or are recovering from domestic violence to receive the care, not just financial care, but a safe shelter for themselves as well as their children, possibly as they re-enter society as a productive citizen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Michelle Spies. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of Family Services, 1200 South Broad Street, Winston-Salem, 27101, and I have with me Emily. In just a moment, Emily is going to address you. As Jay just spoke, my colleague before me, we are looking for a one-time request for capital funds to go toward construction of an $11 million new facility for victims of domestic violence. We serve men, women, children, anyone actually. The majority of the people that come through our shelter, however, are women and children, as Jay mentioned. The current facility is 94 years old. Just today, I authorized a $30,000 approval to put in a new 150-foot pipeline from the road to the sewer. We have extensive water damage there. We've remediated mold, and in the last 5 years, I've authorized over $500,000 of capital improvements to that facility. There's no doubt that the need is there and the building needs to be retired. The new facility will be constructed on the site where it's located now. And before I turn it over to Emily, I'd just like to say that Family Services, founded in 1905, is the oldest nonprofit charitable organization in Winston-Salem, Forsyth County. We were founded before Winston and Salem merged. We have continuously been meeting the needs of our community to make them feel safe, secure, and to realize their full potential for over 100 years, and we've served hundreds of thousands of families and children. As a lifelong resident of Winston-Salem and a graduate of Parkland High School, I hope that you will gladly consider our request, and I'm going to let Emily speak to you.
Hi, my name is Emily Green. I'm a survivor and a volunteer with Family Services. I sought assistance from Bridges to Hope Family Justice Center in 2021 after a violent incident. They offered assistance in filing 50Bs, developing safety plans, and court advocacy, helping me navigate through the unknown. The value of safety is immeasurable. Our current shelter is full and in need of repairs. Without safe housing, many will not have the opportunity to leave their abusive partner. Domestic violence does not affect one socioeconomic class. Most of you know someone who is being abused or has been abused by a partner. Because of resources provided to me, I have been able to return to the workforce and am now a finance director for another nonprofit. This couldn't have happened without the support from Family Services and Bridges to Hope Family Justice Center. Please support our dream for a much-needed domestic violence shelter so other survivors in our community will have the same opportunities that I did.
Thank you very much.
The next two speakers are Kiat Shabazz and Iris Sunshine.
Available. Thank you.
Thank you for calling the Forsyth County Board of Commissioners public session line. Please state your name and address for the record. Hello, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Gabrielle Francis Hall, and my address is 2881 Walnut View Court, apartment Q.
Thank you. Speakers will be limited to 3 minutes each. You may begin.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Gabrielle Francis Hall, and from 2023 to now, I served as a Student Government Association Public Information Officer at Forsyth Tech. I was able to take advantage of the 2022 college commitment to complete my studies at Forsyth Tech tuition-free. I'm a 2022 graduate of R.J. Reynolds High School and a 2024 graduate of Forsyth Tech. In the fall, I will be studying English and Comparative Literature at UNC Chapel Hill. I want to start by saying thank you for your support of all the education and workforce programs at Forsyth Tech. This college commitment made a huge difference for both my family and me, and I'm here tonight to ask you to support the Trailblazer Promise. I have friends that are DACA dreamers that are charged out-of-state tuition and have lived here their entire lives. This grant helps so many people with different living situations. Some of my friends that are also middle-class students are not eligible for FAFSA or institutional aid because their family falls in a specific category of being able to, quote-unquote, afford it when in reality they can't. And with the new changes to FAFSA, they no longer consider families that have multiple children going toward college, so that also affects lots of people. For me personally, my aunt was recently married and all of us are from Jamaica and migrated here. Now my uncle is here, but his degrees in Jamaica do not qualify, and he has been an accountant his entire life. My aunt is the main breadwinner for us all, and he must return to school to regain his credentials, but that's going to take a while. And with me going into school, this promise has helped us a lot. Not just for me personally, but also my friends that have also different situations that probably aren't here to be able to speak. The Promise programs have huge impacts in the communities where they have been implemented. These programs are effective in diverse communities, supporting both rural and urban areas. They help with economic and workforce development and encourage graduates to stay in their local communities. So I just want to thank you for your support in the past, and I just hope that you guys are able to continue to support the Trailblazer Promise. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, commissioners and staff. My name is Kiad Shabazz, and as you see this year, I'm standing and talking on my own by the grace of God. I'm from 897 Peters Creek Parkway here in Winston-Salem. I'm here as the co-founder of the Harry Veterans Community Outreach Services, and I would like to sincerely thank you for having trust and faith that we have and will continue to be good stewards of the funding you have awarded us in the past years. We have been in operation for 17 years, providing services to veterans and ensuring that our men and women live a qualitative, good, wholesome life. You've poured into us so that we could be a viable source to pour into the veterans that we serve. Prayerfully, the funding we received in the 23-24 fiscal year will remain the same for the 24-25 year. For as Helen Keller wrote, alone we can do so little, and together we can do so much. You have before you, because I've not been accompanied by all of these people, only 10 out of many support letters from our allies, faith-based community, veterans, and from a diverse community, inclusive of the Latino community that have came on board to be allies of ours. We thank you, and words cannot express our appreciation for how you have awarded us funds and the ability to continue to help and support the men and women who have served our country. Thank you.
Thank you.
Iris Sunshine, 102 West 3rd Street. Good evening, Chairman Martin and Commissioners. I am the Executive Director of Children's Law Center of Central North Carolina. At Children's Law Center, we are champions for children. Since 2005, we have been providing Forsyth County's children with quality legal advocacy because they need us. Our young clients are too often the silent victims of domestic violence and their parents' conflicts. Our board of directors and staff, some of whom are here with me this evening, are grateful for the investments you have made in our work and in the safety and well-being of Forsyth County's children. Children's Law Center's custody advocacy program is conducting thorough investigations, providing district court judges with balanced, unbiased reports and testimony, advocating for children in the courtroom and elevating their voices, strengthening relationships with community stakeholders such as Bridges to Hope, Family Justice Center of Forsyth County, and continuously improving our processes and service delivery. Children's Law Center provides a critical voice for children impacted by adverse childhood experiences, and our advocacy helps to mitigate the negative effects of ACEs and social determinants of health on the children we serve. Because our young clients know we listen to them, we hear them, and care about them, they often develop a feeling of hope and empowerment that enables them to persevere. With your investment, Children's Law Center's tenacious and dedicated team will be reducing the impact of adverse childhood experiences on our young clients, whose average ACE score is 4.53 out of a 10-point scale, indicating that they are at a high risk of poor physical, mental, and emotional health outcomes later in life. We know from the Wake Forest University School of Law study that our approach is working. When Children's Law Center was appointed in domestic violence protective order cases, there was a substantial decrease in subsequent family violence. Our upstream efforts contribute to saving county, court, and law enforcement resources, which can be redirected to other needs in Forsyth County. Through our individualized approach, we advocate for children to grow up in safe and stable environments. We provide children with the opportunity for a brighter future and also help to create a healthier, stronger community. On behalf of Children's Law Center's board and staff, I respectfully request approval of our Special Appropriations Program application, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our next two speakers are Clara Ignich and Sam Matthews.
And law enforcement resources, which can be redirected to other
Can
needs
you
in
cut
Forsyth
the volume
County.
down on your computer,
Through
please?
our individualized approach. Hello?
Thank you for calling the Forsyth County Board of Commissioners public session line. Please state your name and address for the record.
Tiffany Jones, 1158 Highway 65, Reedsville.
Thank you. Speakers will be limited to 3 minutes each. You may begin.
I want to start by thanking Forsyth County for its past support of River Run International Film Festival and your potential support for the coming year. Funding from the county has allowed River Run to achieve the following. Our 2024 festival had 11,755 attendees, 71% of those were from Forsyth County, and 29% were from surrounding communities and across the U.S. We presented 197 films and programs, of which 49 were free. We hosted 24 year-round screenings, of which 21 were free. We worked with 43 community partners to expand our reach with all members of Forsyth County. We launched a BIPOC Filmmaker Fellowship and Film Program to expand the diversity of our programming and further elevate the work of BIPOC filmmakers. These films were screened for free to the community year-round and as part of the festival. Our education program, Films with Class, presented 5 days of free films to 1,566 students in Winston-Salem Forsyth County schools. The expansion of our free programming has allowed us to reach more people in our community and become more inclusive. In our year-round survey, 93% of respondents felt our programming was inclusive and representative of Forsyth County. We served 9,639 members of the community as part of our festival and year-round programs. All of these accomplishments were made possible due to the generous support and funding from Forsyth County. Thank you for your belief in our work and your continued support.
Good afternoon. My name is Clara Ignich, and I live at 3318 Paddington Lane in Winston-Salem. I am a family law attorney and a partner at Bell Davis & Pitt, which has called Winston-Salem home for the last 40 years. I'm also honored to be the current chairperson of the Board of Directors for the Children's Law Center. At its very core, the Children's Law Center gives a voice to children in court proceedings and makes a lasting difference, both in their lives and in our community at large. In addition to being a domestic attorney, I am also a child of divorce, like so many others. It's one of the reasons I became a family lawyer, and it's also why I felt compelled to join the Children's Law Center's Board of Directors. I know personally how confusing and how scary it can be for children when their parents separate. It's often a time of tremendous change and potentially great trauma. When parents are struggling, children are not always insulated from conflict between adults. Studies have shown that this can have lifelong detrimental impact. When parents end up in court and when there is high conflict and when there is domestic violence, our district court judges can appoint the attorneys of the Children's Law Center to step in, investigate, and report back to the court on the well-being and the best interests of the children who are caught in the middle unfairly. Our district court judges are incredibly busy, and I've seen this firsthand. They've had incredibly large caseloads and limited time to adjudicate matters that will impact children for the rest of their lives. Rather than bringing children into the courtroom and causing more trauma for them, our attorneys meet with children on their own terms, in their homes and in their schools. We talk to their families, teachers, police officers, social workers, and most importantly, the children themselves. Our attorneys synthesize all of this information and present it to the court in a succinct and straightforward report with recommendations about what is in that child's best interest. Based on the evidence that our organization has gathered to date, the work that we do makes a difference in the lives of children. It is difficult to overstate the importance of a child having an attorney who is only working for their best interest, who acts as that child's voice to the court. The work that we do mitigates the adverse childhood experiences for children in our community. We are asking for the county's support for our commitment to continue to help children flourish, to process trauma and build resilience, to break intergenerational cycles of violence, and to change the trajectory of their lives. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you.
Sam Matthews, 1700 Herbert Street, Winston-Salem 27103. Chairman Martin and County Commissioners, on behalf of the Shepherd Center of Greater Winston-Salem, we are privileged to serve 8,100 older adults this past year through our various programs that support and promote successful aging. We are trusting that the support that we're asking for this year will be approved again and the possibility of a very modest increase. Many are not aware that the fastest growing segment of our population are those aged 60 and over. And the needs of our aging population in Forsyth County are growing daily. There are currently more people in our county that are over 60 than there are 17 and under. As you know, Forsyth County is one of the officially designated age-friendly communities in North Carolina. As such, I want to strongly encourage our county leadership and staff to include an aging services line item in the annual budget to reflect that priority. The Shepherd Center of Greater Winston-Salem is one of 2 state-certified senior centers in Forsyth County. We maintained continuous operations through COVID and continued to serve the growing needs of the older adult population in our community. With your support of our mission, you have enabled the Shepherd Center to serve even more older adults this past year. During the past year, which was our 38th year and we're beginning our 39th, we served a record of 8,100 older adults throughout the county. 40% of those served were below 200% of the federal poverty level. 3,500 older adults were provided support to remain independent in their own homes. There are many transportation deserts in Forsyth County. There's public transportation in Winston-Salem and surrounding areas that track the paratransit system. However, last year we responded to a record nearly 16,000 one-way trips to essential medical appointments for county residents. We also responded to a record 1,200 minor home repairs, saving the older adults in this community an estimated $500,000, if not more. We offered over 2,500 health and wellness activities through our Vital Living Senior Center program to over 3,800 active older adults in our community and had a record attendance of over 43,000 older adults. We also continue to provide Medicare education and counseling services to over 1,000 Medicare beneficiaries in this community. As a county coordinating site for the North Carolina Department of Insurance Seniors Health Insurance Information Program, including county retirees. Based upon our reporting to the county, this past quarter, we have shown a return on investment of $16 for every dollar invested in the Shepherd Center. Thank you again for your continued support of our mission, and I want to strongly encourage your support for the modest increase we're asking for this coming fiscal year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, we do not have any more callers, so we're going to go straight to speaker cards.
Okay, thank you. I think we can still do the 2 at a time coming up. That'd be great.
Marcy West and Daryl Boyles, please come forward.
Hi, my name is Marcy West. I live at 331 Carolina Circle. I'm a candidate for Forsyth County Commissioner in District B. I want to thank the commissioners for your work on the budget. I know that it's a very challenging thing to go through and do this budgeting. I have experience doing this in the past, working 9 years on a finance committee, another couple of years on a board of selectmen where you create a budget and you have to set the tax rate. So I really appreciate the complexities and the difficulties of the challenges that you're going through. I want to also talk about the fact that public education is extremely important, and it's important that we fund that. It's vital to our community. It creates good economic growth. It gives us citizens that are educated and can be productive in society. And so I'm going to ask that you really dig deep. I know it's difficult. I know that there's challenges, but I want you to dig deep to be able to allocate funds to the school committee. We have an issue as far as the state goes. They're not allocating the funds that they need to, and I realize that. I would like to have the county commissioners be pushing their state representatives to get that money released so that it gets funded to people. So I also want to talk a little bit about the budget, and just in general, I'm very appreciative of the fact that you have this evening session. I wish that it did not take quite so much effort to get an evening session so that residents can speak about the budgeting process, and it is quite difficult to get that information. I would love to see an opportunity for people to have the budget be a little more accessible, easier to see at a very high level where the money is going, and get a good high-level review. The data's all in there, in the 200 and 350-page booklet, but there's really not an easy way to get to that one level. So I'd like to see that as an improvement in the future, and I would be happy to help with that. So thank you very much.
My name is Daryl Boyles, 1318 Old Salem Road, Kernersville, North Carolina. Good evening, esteemed commissioners, dedicated county staff, and respected guests. I stand before you today not just as Daryl Boyles, the Chief Operations Officer of ARCA, but a proud native of Kernersville and a living testament to the transformative power of the Addiction Recovery Care Association, also known as ARCA. Firstly, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude for the opportunity to speak today and for the unwavering support that the county and the commissioners have shown towards ARCA and its noble mission. Since 1969, ARCA has been a beacon of hope for the Piedmont Triad and surrounding communities. We're thrilled to be operating in our new facility, our new county-owned facility, the ARCA SECU campus, a testament to the county's commitment to serving the community. ARCA has invested over $9 million in this facility, and we are already making a difference as over 200 people have walked through the doors seeking help and asking for and finding hope. However, we are facing a significant challenge. The facility with its 40-plus-year-old sewer lines are experiencing unforeseen plumbing issues. Despite the initial inspections indicating good working order, we've encountered backup and issues caused by rust flaking off and causing clogs. We've already spent over $1.3 million to replace sewer lines, but our plumbers warn us of continued issues unless we take further action. We're committed to serving the community and utilizing the facility to its fullest capacity. However, these plumbing problems threaten to severely hamper our efforts. We understand that our request comes late, and we apologize for the surprise. The extent of the issue was unexpected, but we are determined to overcome this challenge. We are grateful for any support that you can consider for our request. Together, we can ensure that ARCA continues to transform lives and serve our community. I'll end by sharing, according to the National Institute of Drug Abuse, that every dollar invested in substance abuse disorder treatment yields a return on investment between $4 and $7 in reduced criminal justice costs. And if you account for avoided healthcare costs, SUD treatment can yield a return of up to 12 to 1. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
The next two speakers are Aziza Evelina and Shakaya McCoy.
Good evening, Board of Commissioners. My name is Shakaya McCoy, and my address is 275 Forest Acre Drive, Kernersville, North Carolina. I come to you today because I served as the Student Government Association as a representative at Forsyth Tech. So I was able to go to Forsyth Tech completely tuition free. I've just graduated May 2024 of this year, and now will be going to NC State in the fall. I wanted to first say thank you for your ongoing support of Forsyth Tech, and it's very much appreciated. And I'm here to speak tonight about how much this has made a huge difference for me and my family, and to ask for your continued support of the Trailblazer Promise. Coming from a low-income background, the financial aspect of pursuing higher education was a very important factor for me and many of my other peers, as it weighs down on our decisions subconsciously or consciously about where and what paths we should take. So I knew when I heard about I could go to community college for free, I decided to jump on it, and I'm happy I did because I've had the opportunity to grow as a person and discover just the benefits of being involved in the community. And that's why I'm here speaking today on behalf of my fellow peers as long as myself, so this program can continue and help nourish our community and give benefits for not only nourish our community and give economic benefits and to show people who may have not thought they could have this chance that there is something brighter in their future, and to give that economic mobility. So I hope you take those words and continue to support this program and our community through it. Thank you for your time, and I hope you'll have a good evening listening to all of us.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Aziza Evelina, Gufran Abd, and Renuka Khatri.
Good evening. My name is Aziz Evelina, and from 2023 until now, I am serving as a Student Government Associate President at Foresight Tech. I was able to take advantage of the 2023 college commitment to complete my studies of Foresight Tech tuition-free. I'm a 2022 graduate at Edu Global High School and a 2024 graduate of Foresight Tech. I am currently deciding where to continue my studies in the fall, with the ultimate goal of becoming a diplomat. I want to start my comments tonight by thanking you for your support of Foresight Tech, both currently and in the future. Without Foresight Tech's Promise program, it is unlikely that I would have been able to complete my studies debt-free. Foresight Tech has always been a place of promise. I came to the United States in 2022 to pursue my education, and thanks to Foresight Tech, I could achieve my goals to be academically successful and explore endless opportunities as a student that helped me contribute back to the community. North Carolina, recognized as the best state for business in 2022 and 2023, must meet the workforce demands of a growing economy. Currently, 65% of jobs require post-secondary education, a number that is expected to rise. Foresight Tech offers a wide range of programs that train future workers in critical fields. The Promise program helps remove financial barriers, ensuring that we, as a state and as a county, can meet these workforce needs. Please join me and my fellow Foresight Tech alumni in supporting the Trailblazer Promise. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Renuka Khatri, and do you guys need my address as well? 5222 Ivy Ridge Lane, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, 27103. As I stated, my name is Renuka Khatri, and I am currently a full-time student studying biology with a concentration in human bio at NC State University. From 2022 to 2023, I served as the Student Government Association President at Foresight Tech Community College. I was able to take advantage of the 2021 College Commitment Grant to complete my Associates in Science at Foresight Tech tuition-free in 2023, and I'm also a 2021 graduate of West Forsyth High School. Since graduating from Foresight Tech, I've been studying at NC State with the goal of completing my bachelor's in a pre-health program. After finishing my undergrad, I plan on either attending a physician assistant or an anesthesiologist assistant program for grad school. This college commitment made a huge difference for both my family and me, and I'm here tonight to ask you to support the Trailblazer Promise. My family, who are local business owners, benefited so much from this program and from my ability to attend Foresight Tech. It was a strategic choice for me, not one I had to make, but one that has made all the differences. I know investing in Foresight Tech was the right choice for me, as I was able to fully surrender myself in my academics and personal growth without having the financial burden on my family, and in result, I was able to achieve my goal of receiving the Goodnight Scholarship, which funds the rest of my undergrad journey at North Carolina State University for 3 years. I still remember the days I got to enjoy my time in the Student Life and Engagement Office with the staff and how much support my Foresight Tech family offered me to reach my goals today. While working closely with the state student government, I heard many stories of how Promise programs have huge impacts in the community where they have been implemented. These programs are effective in diverse communities supporting both rural and urban areas. They help with the economics and workforce development and encourage graduates to stay in their local communities. Please join me and my fellow Tech alumni in supporting the Trailblazer Promise. I want to say thank you for your continued support of Foresight Tech. It is clear that each of you is dedicated to the economic and workforce development and education initiatives in the county. Thank you. Have a good day.
You-
Thank you, Commission. My name is Gufran Abd, and my address is 3171 Old Salisbury Road, Winston-Salem. And I'm a freshly graduated alumna from Parkland Magnet High School. And my presentation regards the WSFCS budget requests. I moved to Winston-Salem and its school system as a sophomore in 2022, and I want to briefly state the excellence of my education here in comparison to my previous residence. My instructors, social workers, nurses, and custodians are incredible, but are in dire need of compensation. They reach for beyond any line of standard or convention and outdo themselves in the quality of education they have given me and the time they invest in my growth. I have found my passion in legislation and politics through the guidance of teachers who have instructed me tirelessly over my time in Winston-Salem, Forsyth County. There is so much ceaseless injustice in this world, especially in our community, and as a youth, it is so desolate and defeating to develop in some of our circumstances. It is my instructors, however, who have persuaded me against hopelessness and encouraged to contribute still to the common good despite our horrible hand. And over the course of reviewing the past budgets and hearing the news about the incoming budget, these teachers certainly do not do their jobs for the pay. The staff of WSFCS certainly do not do it for the neglect and abandonment from administration and state governments. And given recent events, these teachers certainly do it for the children. Commission, we have brought our school staff to searching bags for weapons each morning. We must supplement the work they do with compensation. I acknowledge Winston-Salem, Forsyth County, and how it's paid its teachers in comparison to sister districts. But when there is such outright opportunity to supplement this, like abysmal employee retention, dire custodial issues, consistent support with social workers and nurses, and the master's degree supplement, those affected grow wary. The state of this county is dependent on how we treat its future, and if all of our qualified instructors are leaving this district for somewhere with better treatment, our youth will sour. The failure of any part of the state government is the county's responsibility to fall back on, and I place faith in this commission to relieve the fund our schools and support our workers' need where our state government has failed. I yield any remaining time. Thank you.
The next three speakers are Evelyn Acri, Mike Wakeford, and Howard Upchurch. Please state your name and address for the record.
Good evening. I'm Evelyn Acri. My address is 8570 Waterford Village Court, Clemens, North Carolina, 27012. I am honored to serve on the Forsyth Technical Board of Trustees, and I'm so excited to be here with you tonight, Chairman Martin and Commissioners, and I thank you for this opportunity. I'm also here to talk to you about the Trailblazer Promise. It's a transformative initiative. The Trailblazer Promise is more than just a program. It is a commitment to the future of our community. This initiative is designed to provide recent high school graduates in Forsyth County with the financial support they need to pursue higher education at Forsyth Tech without the burden of tuition costs. The Trailblazer Promise covers the full cost of tuition for eligible students. These students must meet certain criteria, such as maintaining a minimum GPA. By removing financial barriers, we are opening doors for many students who might not otherwise be able to afford college. This initiative is not only increases our educational opportunities, but also promotes higher college enrollment rates. The benefits of the Trailblazer Promise extend far beyond individual students. A better educated workforce attracts more businesses and fosters economic growth. By investing in our students today, we are ensuring a prosperous future for Forsyth County. Access to education reduces poverty and inequality. The Trailblazer Promise empowers students from all backgrounds to achieve their dreams and contribute positively to our society. Other community colleges across the states are doing this Promise program, just like this. We want to be among the best in the state, and we're focused on attracting talent to our great region. To continue this initiative, we need your support. Your backing can help ensure more students benefit from the Trailblazer Promise, and that Forsyth Tech can continue to provide high-quality education. With sustained support, we envision a future where every student in Forsyth County has the opportunity to pursue higher education, regardless of their financial situation. As I close, I just want to share with you a personal testimony. Last week, I was at a function and I met a mother, and we struck up a conversation. And she was so excited to tell me that she was attending her oldest son's high school graduation this past weekend. I said, well, what is your son going to do after finishing high school? She proudly says, he is attending Forsyth Tech. This just shows you, she said, no other way could he have gone to college without the Forsyth Tech Promise. So this just shows you how much it means for you to support us. I've heard countless stories like this, and they all say Trailblazer Promise gives their children a chance at a better life. Isn't that what we all want for our children, our grandchildren, and every child in our county? A better chance at life. Thank you for your time, consideration, and support. Together, we are already making an impact on the lives of deserving students and the future of our community. The continuation of the Trailblazer Promise will impact Forsyth County for generations to come. Thank you.
Good evening, Commissioners. I'm Mike Wakeford, 110 West Banner Avenue, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, 27127. I'm Executive Director of Muse Winston-Salem, which, as you know, has made a special appropriation request asking the county to support our effort to create a comprehensive history museum for Winston-Salem and Forsyth County on the downtown Winston-Salem strollway. I'm joined here this evening, here and over here, by a number of Muse staff and board members. They represent literally hundreds of board members, volunteers, staff, and donors whose energy and vision brought us to today. Today, Muse is poised to give Winston-Salem and Forsyth County the dynamic 21st century history museum that it needs, one where the remarkable and diverse story of this part of the world gets told. This one-time ask will help us renovate our new home and activate it with historical exhibitions, community dialogue, school field trips, and public programs for decades to come. This project will fulfill a long-recognized need for a comprehensive history center that our community lacks at a time when our society needs high-quality, historical, and civics-minded experiences for all. At Muse, we believe that chronicling Winston-Salem and Forsyth County's past requires that we document the whole story. Muse will lift up people-centered stories from every era and every neighborhood, celebratory stories and difficult ones, stories of achievements and luminaries, but also the lesser known and oft forgotten. Everyone has a story, and our commitment will be to help tell each one. Muse will offer visitors several technology-enhanced museum galleries and immersive spaces where they'll learn a sweeping history of how this place became what it is today, pulling together this community's story, beautiful, fascinating, and complicated as it is, into an inclusive whole. They'll be able to explore an ever-growing jukebox of our county's rich musical traditions and performers in our Sounds of Winston-Salem feature. They'll take an augmented reality safe bus journey through mid-century Winston-Salem's Tobacco campus, and every time they return, they'll experience new exhibitions, homegrown or brought in from the Smithsonian or elsewhere in our changing gallery. Located on the downtown strollway, just yards from where Winston and Salem merged over a century ago, Muse will help complete a cultural corridor stretching from the Industry Hill District to the new Callidium to Old Salem, UNCSA, and the Happy Hill Shotgun House Project, and on to the Salem Greenway from there. I'm delighted to say tonight that we are 71% of the way to our capital campaign goal to renovate and open Muse. We've come this far leveraging private resources from a combination of local foundations, corporate partners, and generous individual donors. The City of Winston-Salem, too, has generously entrusted us at a very low cost with transforming its property into a vital community asset. We are most hopeful that Forsyth County will now join in this effort as well. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Howard Upchurch, Interim President of Arts Council of Winston-Salem and Forsyth County, located at 251 North Spruce Street in Winston-Salem, 27101. I'm here tonight to ask for your continued support of our organization with a recommended special appropriation of $100,000. Our Arts Council was the first in the country, and we are celebrating our 75th birthday this year with a lot of activity. We continue to be the chief advocate for the arts and the engine for the arts in our community. Our campuses are alive with activity with over 600 events last year at the Milton Rhodes Center and the Haynes Brands Theater. We have allocated and are administering the American Rescue Plan funds that you entrusted with us, and we are seeing exciting activity across the community that will pay dividends for years to come. I'm working with staff in your office to plan and showcase our vibrant arts scene as you host the upcoming North Carolina County Commissioners meeting here in Winston-Salem in August. We are programming exciting performances that will showcase our artists throughout the conference, and we will entertain and impress. The FY25 $100,000 special appropriation will allow us to continue our annual Parks Concert Series at Tanglewood Park for a 10th season. We have 4 concerts each year in May, June, September, and October that are free and attended by thousands throughout the community. Our next concert is June 16th, featuring Martha Bassett. I hope you and everyone here can attend, and I hope you will continue your consideration for funding to support this incredible series and Arts Council of Winston-Salem and Forsyth County. Thank you.
The next speakers are Nicole Walters, Elizabeth Dampier, and Matthew Poston.
Good evening. My name is Nicole Walters. I reside at 6664 Springfield Village Lane, Clemens, North Carolina, 27012. I'm going to be speaking on behalf of Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools and our asks for the budget. I'm going to start off with saying I know my value as a teacher and as a human being. I do not feel that this county values me as a teacher. I woke up this morning not knowing what I wanted to say today. When I looked in the closet, I found this shirt. It says, "Not all who wander are lost." It made me realize that the past 6 years I have worked here, I have felt lost. Lost for many reasons. I have struggled to make a living working as a teacher in this district. I have worked 2 jobs for the past 6 years in which I would work 7 days a week to make ends meet. This compounded with the work that I would bring home because there was not enough time in my day to do what was expected of me. I continue to struggle as this trickled into lack of self-care and sleep needed for me to be the teacher my students needed me to be. On top of that, I would spend my own money on resources for my classroom and my students, money of which could have gone into my gas tank, money of which could go into getting my dog to the vet, money of which could have been going to a dentist appointment. I started to fall apart with how much I was pushing myself, mentally, physically, and emotionally. This all stemming from me not being able to support myself with the pay that I am getting and working extra to supplement that pay. With this being said, I respectfully resign from my position. If I was truly valued and seen as a professional that I am, then I would not have to work 2 jobs to make a living. I know I am not the only one here today or who came with me that has this story. If you ask anyone behind me right now or who came, you would learn how many of us are struggling to make a living. This district has so many wonderful teachers who truly care about their students. But if they cannot provide for themselves or their families, then you will find here soon that I will not be the only one leaving. I hope you make the right choice to help support our teachers who are all here to support their students. Thank you.
Elizabeth Dampier, CEO at Callidium, located at 120 West 3rd Street here in Winston-Salem. Good evening, Chairman Martin and fellow commissioners. It is my pleasure to come before you tonight and thank you for your previous support, as well as to ask your consideration of our flat funding request for fiscal year 25. As you all know, this has been a busy year for Callidium. Because of your support, we sunset the Callidium North location and moved into our new home in the heart of downtown Winston-Salem. And as we had anticipated, we are realizing impact in our community. This fiscal year is the first year we've started getting back to our pre-COVID numbers with more than 100,000 visitors already since July. But what I want to share is most importantly what has happened since mid-February when we opened the location, with more than 65,000 of these 100,000 visitors coming to see us. In addition, we have seen visitors from 39 states, plus Puerto Rico, Canada, and Australia. We continue to track those visitors from the county who reside in low-income zip codes as identified by the census, and 61% of Callidium's visitors live in those areas. The move downtown is helping cement our commitment to accessibility due to our location. For some visitors, Callidium North was a 5-bus exchange to get there. It was a huge commitment. Accessibility is much easier. Because of your commitment, we are able to continue to offer discount opportunities to those in our community who may not otherwise be able to afford to come. I am pleased to share that the Museums for All program, which allows those with an EBT card, WIC card, and now a Second Harvest Link to Feed card, to come to the museum at a discounted rate of $3 per person every day, and has gone from about 8% of our admissions at the old location to almost 16% in the new location since February, with more than 14,000 visits this year attributable to the program. In mid-March, we began to offer a Museums for All membership that allows these same eligible individuals to buy a discounted membership that provides additional benefits. In 2 months, we have sold more than 40 of these. Other worthwhile notes include that more than 1,700 people have visited using community access passes. They're available with a library card checkout at our public libraries, and over 550 people have visited through Blue Star Museums, which celebrates our veterans and their families from Armed Forces Day to Labor Day. Additionally, we continue to offer free community outreach memberships and day passes through 30 partner organizations in the community. These discounts alone have given back more than $225,000 to the community for our museum access. We just opened the rooftop this past Friday to great delight, and Saturday night we had 877 people attend Callidium After Dark, our monthly 21 and over event. If you haven't visited yet, I invite you to visit where you will see firsthand learning and fun colliding and visitors of all ages. It's for everyone, practicing skills of creativity and perseverance. Thank you once again for your support and allowing me to share your impact in this community.
Matthew Poston, 110 Woodstaff Drive, Kernersville, North Carolina, 27284. Thank you, esteemed county commissioners, for allowing me the opportunity to address you this evening. I stand before you to urge you to support Superintendent McManus's request of $20 million, a crucial step in ensuring the future prosperity of our educational system. As you may be aware, we're losing ESSER funding, coupled with the looming threat of voucher expansion, which has put our education system in a precarious position. These challenges have the potential to undermine the quality of education our students receive and threaten the well-being of our schools. By allocating the requested $20 million, we can mitigate the impacts of these challenges and provide our schools with the resources they need to continue delivering quality education to our students. Since 2021, the Guilford County Board of Commissioners has made historic investments in public education by increasing the local funding for K-12 schools by more than $115 million in just 3 budget cycles. The manager proposed budget for fiscal year 25 would bring that investment up to $140 million, a 50% increase over 4 years. Additionally, Wake County Board of Commissioners added $9,345,000 more to bringing the total increase in funding for Wake County Public School System for the next fiscal year to more than $58.3 million, which meets Superintendent Robert Taylor's funding requests. This brings the county's total investment in the school system's operating budget to $702.6 million for fiscal year 2025. I don't want to go back and look at the increases we've gotten from Forsyth County commissioners because they are pale in comparison. We're asking for $20 million. We're losing about $44 million just in ESSER funds this year. And the private school vouchers. Yes, it's a state issue, but this is our county. We need to act swiftly, and we need to fund our schools. I urge you, esteemed commissioners, to consider the long-term benefits of investing in our education system. I implore you to prioritize the well-being and success of our students by approving the funding request of $20 million. $20 million. Thank you.
Our next speakers are Jenny Easter, Stephanie Wallace, and Colleen Lanier.
Jenny Easter, 5120 Paramount Road, Hofftown, North Carolina, 27040. As you know, I am the president of the Forsyth County Association of Educators, FCAE, our public school staff union. I was born and raised in this city and attended Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools as a student under Dr. Martin. And I have taught for 10 plus years in this district, and my 2 children attend school in this district as well. I want to thank our county commissioners for giving us the opportunity to speak tonight. I also want to acknowledge the people behind me who are holding almost 2,500 signatures that we have collected and explain the road that it has taken to get here. I stand here in the middle of a sea of union siblings, public school staff, families, and community members who care passionately for Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools. As you've heard already, people are leaving their jobs at an unprecedented rate. And because we wanted to find out what people needed for them to stay and do what they are most passionate about in our schools, in the fall, FCAE released a survey to our staff across the district to ask what issues they and their students were encountering and what they needed to address it. We compiled that data and created a petition of 12 priorities to include in next year's district policy changes and budget. We thank Tricia McManus, our superintendent, for listening to her staff's voices and including almost every single priority in her budget request to you. We thank you for the commitment you've already made in coming some of the way towards that ask, but more is desperately needed. We have a beautiful city and county that is attracting businesses more than ever before. And part of what makes our community so vibrant is our reputation for excellence, including our school system. However, as it's also been said, you can't draw new business development without first investing in high-quality public school systems. The two go hand in hand. But we have staff leaving the profession and/or are going to other districts who offer more. And the fact that we are going to lose tens of millions of dollars in federal COVID relief dollars and millions of dollars from the state for private school vouchers does not help either. These asks may feel like extra to you, but they are the baseline of what my schools had when I was growing up. It's unfair that the state isn't funding our schools like they are required to do through Leandro, but that's the reality we're in. For our petition, we asked staff what they needed to be able to do their jobs and support our students, who are at the heart of this ask, and they responded. Besides our hospitals, we are the largest employer in this county. There are a lot of us, and we need to take care of everyone. And not only are we employees and taxpayers, but many of us are parents and caregivers with a student or students who we love who attend Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools. Whether it is through extra PAYGO funds, ARPA, county staff, or any other place where we can move funds around, I ask you to find more ways to support our schools, our students, and our people, because our community deserves it. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Stephanie Wallace, and I live at 4528 Princess Drive, Winston-Salem, when I'm not living at 2500 West Mountain Street, Kernersville, East Forsyth High School. I get asked by my students all the time why I do things like this, because I have lots of things up in my classroom of me speaking at events and those sorts of things, and I tell them that it's because this is my passion and my purpose. Dr. Martin, you were superintendent when I was hired 24 years ago. Former Chair Woodbury, you were on the school board when I was named your 2020 District Teacher of the Year. I keep coming back because the North Carolina Teaching Fellows, under the leadership of recently passed Gladys Graves, taught me how to fight for public schools, for public school children, and what I believe in. Then, as a Teaching Fellows member at UNC Greensboro, I joined my student union, and I learned again how to fight. And then I became an active member, and I helped serve on the lawsuit against the career status under the leadership of NCAE, and we won that one. And I will continue to fight for my students, but I want to shift from that to my work with the North Carolina Public School Foundation's Teacher Cadet Program. I've been an instructor of that program since my very first year teaching. I've brought you with the work of the colleagues in this district to allow my kids to do field experience in their classrooms, over 100 educators, guidance counselors, assistant principals, to your very backyard. I've brought them back. I have over 200 in this state. What are you giving me to continue to bring them back to? We are seventh in supplement, but the fourth largest local. That math doesn't math. And again, I'm an English teacher, but that math doesn't math. Where our state is failing us, I'm grandfathered with my master's pay. What incentives do I give my teacher cadets to want to go be the absolute best educators that they can be, going beyond just a bachelor's degree? Because you've had several people from several programs tonight talk about the way the workforce is going and what's going to be required to be able to keep up. I want to continue to bring students back to the Winston-Salem Forsyth County schools that I believe in strongly and passionately and have served for 24 years and will continue to serve as long as my career status grandfather keeps me here. And there are probably a few people in the room who even remember what that term means. I love Winston-Salem Forsyth County. I love my East Forsyth Eagles. My baby graduated as an Eagle yesterday. My daughter graduated in the horrible COVID
graduation. I'm still here. I'm still going to take those teacher cadets. I have 22 registered next year, and under the leadership of Ms. McManus, we have put this program in almost every high school. Ms. McManus knows what to do with the money. She gave our English teachers book funds. My EVA scores went blue because I can put books in my classroom where my kids see themselves and the world. This Board of Education knows what they're doing. Let them do it. Thank you.
Colleen Lanier, 1610 Red Copper Circle, Winston-Salem, 27106. Good evening. It's good to see you here. I believe I remember when every one of you ran for office. Even you young folks, I remember when I was teaching, you ran for office. So I'm glad to see you here tonight serving our county. I want to start by saying how proud I am. Proud that my husband, who is a graduate of the school system here, retired from the school system, Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools. I'm proud that I taught in this school system for 32 years, middle school. And I'm proud of the former students I have who are working in the school system now in various positions, including one who spoke to you this evening, Matthew. He's one of my former students. So I'm proud of him too, especially. And I'm proud of this school board because they made a tough decision this year. They knew what they were facing, and they looked at the odds, and they said, we can't eliminate anything. We have to look at what we need. We have to present it. They said, they put it out on the table, and they said, what can we cut? And the answer was, we can't. We have to share it with you. We have to face what needs to be done. Now, I want to talk about you for just a minute, because I want you to think about why you ran for this position. I don't think it's because you said, oh, that looks like fun. I'm going to enjoy doing that. Maybe you did. I know that you did it because you knew you could make a difference. Some of you, Dr. Martin, said that to me. You knew this was the way you would make a difference. And it is a way that you can make a difference. We know you're giving your time. We know you've given your money, running for office, and we appreciate that. We appreciate the fact that you continue to return, that you give us a chance to share with you, and you listen to everything. You do have a tough decision. I also know what you're facing because I deal with people across the state, and I've talked with legislators, and I know that you are one of the 90 counties in this state who are having to find ways to find increasing funds. And that is sad. We have the money in Forsyth County to meet those needs. I worry about those rural counties. That's a different story. I don't know how they're going to meet their needs. But we do have to look at the way we fund and what we fund. I heard several folks this evening talk about education and our future, and those are tied together. Education and our future. It's so important. We want you to remember that. You do have a tough job. We know that. But we are counting on you to listen to what the school board has decided, to trust them with the way they want to use their funds. I work with people I don't work with them, I volunteer. And I give the time to work with folks and talk with them about retirement. And you know what the thing that people say to me most is? It's not, I wish I'd save my money. Oh my gosh, darn Martin, you know me with the time. So I'll just say this. Most of them say, I love my job, but I need to leave now, and they give me their reasons. That is sad. So I want to say, I know the money is tight. We're counting on you to do what is right, and we want you to do that tonight. Thank you.
Our next three speakers are Kendall Fields, Shanae Levine, and Samuel Ball.
My name is Kendall Fields. I live at 3916 Creekside Court in Winston-Salem. I'm a candidate for County Commission District B. Good evening, County Commissioners. It's nice to say that. We should do it more often. This past year, I had the pleasure of mentoring a new teacher at Parkland High School, where I've been for the last decade. She was amazing. The students loved her. She designed projects, lessons that got added to our social studies, unit planning organizers for civics. And I hate to say that she's not coming back next year because she's going to make more money doing something else. I've been at Parkland for 10 years. I have seen numerous teachers complete their 3 years as a BT and then leave because they don't get compensated enough with the living wage. And I recognize that that is a problem of the state and decisions that have been made in Raleigh. However, this county commission now has the opportunity to stand up and show what can happen when we fully fund our public schools. You have heard tonight from numerous recent graduates. This past weekend, we just sent out a whole slew of future voters, future leaders, future entrepreneurs into the world from Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools. By fully funding what our school board is asking, we are showing that we value education and that we want to recruit and retain, emphasis on retain, the quality educators that our students in this county deserve. Many people have spoken tonight about how without quality education, we don't get a lot of the benefits that we've had in this county. We want to grow economically. We want to compete across this state and prove that we are one of the best counties to live in. We cannot do that without quality educators. If we do not have quality education, we will not have quality students graduating from our high schools, and that is a shame. I ask that you all do what the school board is asking, fully fund the $20 million that we need, and show that this elected body supports public education in Forsyth County. And by doing that, maybe our leaders in Raleigh will finally catch on and do the same. Thank you.
Grand day, commissioners, and thank you for allowing us to address you today. My name is Shanae Levine. My residence is at Red Bank Road, Germantown, North Carolina, 27019. I am a seventh generation Forsyth County resident. My business is in the District A, and one of the main things that I wanted to share tonight is, as a child, I attended Mineral Springs Elementary and Middle School, and we had some of the greatest programs like wood shop, home economics, and a lot of the basic things that employers would need from employees coming out of high school. I remember my grandfather telling me that graduating from Carver in '65, they came out with skills, technical skills, trade school skills, and there wasn't any higher education demand as far as payment is concerned. So this was free education, a part of the public school system. And as a graduate of Carver alumni, Carver High School, I really wanted to just share my support with you all and my support with the Forsyth County Association of Educators and the North Carolina Association of Educators, just as a business owner and a parent of children in the school system, to truly fund the Winston-Salem Forsyth County school system and the request made by Superintendent McManus. Thank you.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Sam Ball. I live at 1761 Carriage Cove Lane, Winston-Salem 27127. For just the next 2 days, I am my school's magnet coordinator, a position that is being cut by lack of ESSER funding. So that's just one example of the gap that is left at the end of this year. County Manager Dudley Watts has said that next year's budget is a return to normalcy, but the school experience has not returned to pre-COVID normal, and I doubt it ever will. The experience of students, the world has changed. The needs of students are becoming greater and greater, and it's up to us to do something about it. The district needs all of the funds that they have requested, not just some of them, if they are even to start trying to meet the needs of our students. Public school staff are already doing everything they can to help our children succeed. Raise your hand if you're here to support public school. These people are here because they are doing everything that they can. We have told the district what we need. Now the district is telling you what we need. And it's up to you to decide whether or not you are willing to find a way to make that happen for our students and for our staff or not. My wife and I both work for the district, both with our master's degrees that neither of us get paid for. For my friends who are here who don't know, my wife and I are also expecting twins in September. Thank you. And that master's supplement would go a long way to helping us take care of our little ones. Those of you who have children know, and 2 of them at once is no joke. We're trying to stock up now. Our students desperately need the support provided by nurses and social workers. My wife is one of those social workers. Families who have kids eligible for pre-K next year can't wait another year to have that funded. Our custodians can't wait another year to return to state employ. Our teachers can't wait another year for the technology that they need to do their jobs, nor for the supplement increase that they need to make them feel like they are valued employees, that they can actually live with the pay that they receive. So I implore you to do what you must to fully fund the district budget and pressure the state legislature to fulfill their obligation to the public schools of North Carolina. And all I'm going to say about that is if you're not outraged, you're not paying attention. It'll make your job easier, I promise. Thank you for your time.
The next speakers are Stu Egan, Paul Robeson Ford, and Michelle Jordan.
Stuart Egan, 824 Chester Road, Winston-Salem, North Carolina. I think a couple of things that need to be mentioned. One is that you've had incredible speakers come from our young people. It shows you the strength of schools. It also shows you the strength of them wanting to learn. Give them a reason to come back. Second of all, if it takes a pandemic to fund things that should have already been funded, and that funding is going away, it shows a hell of a lot about our priorities as a state and as a society. Okay? We all know our state has not funded. This is General Assembly's fault, and you can put pressure on them, and you know their names. Leandro has not been fulfilled. Bottom line. So where do we turn? We turn to you. Okay? And there are some things that we can do locally, and I'm going to specifically look at 2 of them. First of all, we can take a leading position in this state and invest in the backbone of our public school system, which are people. Specifically, we can have a master's degree supplement, and we can invest more in our classified positions. Because advanced degree pay was abolished in North Carolina in 2014, many potential teachers will never enter the field here in North Carolina, nor will they stay in this school district. Because the only way to receive a sizable salary increase to help raise a family, whether you have twins on the way, or afford to even stay in this profession, came through a graduate degree pay. And let's not forget, longevity pay is not being given to veteran teachers any longer. We're the only state employees that do not receive it because this General Assembly calls us county employees for that particular reason. The amount of money it would take to repay the cost of a master's degree will still take a teacher many years to make on a teacher's salary. In most cases, that tuition is being paid to NC colleges and universities here in our own community. In essence, many teachers are reinvesting in the very public education system that they serve. Please be reminded that the 10 southeastern states that we are constantly being compared to as far as our salary is concerned, 9 of them offer graduate degree pay. The only one that does not is North Carolina. And let us not forget that Winston-Salem's home to 4 higher education institutions that are training future teachers. Do you really think that we can keep them here? One school system in North Carolina has already invested in making graduate degree pay raises possible for teachers as well as competitive local supplement. That school system is seeing positive results from this action. They are investing in their people and the continuity of the community that protects the most sacred cornerstone of public education, which is the student-teacher relationship. If you've never been inside, and I know many of you have, the inner workings of a public school, you need to know how many different people make this whole thing work. If we're not doing what they're not doing what they can do, then our schools will never be as effective. We need to do everything we can to make them help them have a living wage, and loudly ask our legislatures, whose names we all know, to help them as well by funding schools fully. As a teacher in schools and a parent of a public school student with special needs who started attending the special children's school at 4 weeks of age and is now at Mount Tabor as a rising junior, I'm ever thankful for every classified employee who has had an effect on him. And they should all be under the umbrella of Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools. Strength of a public school system resides in investing in both classified and certified staff.
Stuart, can you sort of wrap it up?
I just did.
Yeah.
Good evening. Paul Robeson Ford, standing here with Action for Equity, my brother's keeper, Winston-Salem, 1922 South Martin Luther King Drive. We have heard so many voices here tonight explaining why it is so important to support the school district's request for its budget, including the $20 million increase. And what I just want to contribute to that conversation is to recognize this. The vision never fits into a budget. And if it ever did, it wouldn't be a vision worth investing in. The vision here that we have is for a set of equitable schools, schools that are addressing the needs of all of our children, no matter what their background is. And you've heard the number $12 million mentioned. $12 million that just covers all of the support that we were able to put into these schools because of ESSER dollars. Support that provided backing for social and emotional learning, behavioral supports, for all of the types of restorative practices and additional services that support our children if we want to take care of them in a trauma-informed way. And as you're thinking about this budget and thinking about the request for the additional $20 million, I want you to think about every time that you have lamented when you see the latest viral video that comes out of disruptive behavior going on in our schools. Every time that you have heard concerns raised by teachers, students, or others about whether or not the schools are safe. Every time you lament the statistics that consistently show that while Black boys constitute about 15% of our student population in the district schools, they typically account for 30% of those impacted by exclusionary discipline. And what we understand is that the only way that we are going to resolve these problems is if we begin to move in trauma-informed ways in our schools and provide all of our teachers, all of our administrators with the level of support that they need so they can focus on teaching, they can focus on taking care of the entirety of a school, and we can have people in place, whether they're parent-family engagement coordinators, whether they're restorative practice coordinators, whether they're social-emotional learning instructors, whether they're behavioral support specialists, to help take care of our children who come from a vast array of circumstances, some of them very challenging. Our superintendent, who has a bold vision, has found a way to try to squeeze many of those services that were funded by ESSER dollars into this budget. So it should not surprise you that the budget request is $20 million, when we also need to pay teachers more, pay classified instructors more, and all of the other concerns that have been raised, because 12 million of those dollars are ESSER dollars that are going away. Support this budget, support a bold vision for the future, an equitable future for all of our kids. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Michelle Jordan, 6032 Stone Bluff Drive, Clemens, North Carolina. So I come to you tonight to talk to you guys about the budget and a lot of what you've heard. Some of you have known me. I've been advocating for things since before 2018, but some of you went with us to the 2018 March, the 2019 March, and you've seen me come before the school board. Dr. Martin, I started here 20 years ago in the school system. You came in my classroom back at Conoke forever ago when Lisa Horn was there as the principal. So I've been around for a long time in the county. And I have my one son who's graduated, and I have 2 children that are currently in the school system. And I'm one of those teachers that's a veteran, so I'm not getting a raise from the state. What little raise I get is from the supplement. Sometimes it's not even enough for a tank of gas for me to get to work back and forth. And I'm at that point where I'm 50 years old, and what am I going to do? Because my retirement is not something I'm going to be able to sustain myself off of. So I'm making some serious thoughts and considerations to the fact that probably next summer I'm going to be retiring so that I can move into something else to be making more money somewhere, somehow, to support my family. Because I can't put them through school. I mean, to sit there and to look at my own children and to know that I'm pouring so much into the community's children, and then I feel so guilty that my own children aren't getting what they need from me financially, what they need from me emotionally, because I'm drained every day from all that we're trying to do for our kids. What you've heard people saying here is true. It's not the same as what it used to be. It's not the same as what when I worked at Conoke 20 years ago, when I came out of college 27 years ago. Education's different because our kids are different. Our needs in our community is different. What happened with COVID, the mental needs, what we've seen going on, like we truly need this $20 million. There's not one penny in there that's being wasted. It's truly what our students need and what our staff needs. So please, I ask that you fund this request. And then I will always put this in here. Please, please, and Shay knows what I'm going to say, please advocate to our NCGA. We have got to get them understanding that they're killing our state and our education. They're doing that on purpose because they want to privatize. And we need you guys getting up and fighting with us, or our public education is gone. And it's not going to, what's going to happen to society? I was naive when I got out of school. Oh, everybody wants public education funding, because if public education's funding, then we'll have a great society and people will, no, that's not the case. And it took me a long time to wake up to that, but I need you guys standing with us and fighting with us and advocating to the NCGA for what we need. Thank you.
The next speakers are Tiffany Jarrett, Dr. Mark Oliver, and Virginia Brown.
Tiffany Jarrett, 4878 Terrence Drive, Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Good evening, County Commissioners. My name is Tiffany, and I work for the Winston-Salem Forsyth County School District. I thank you for what you've considered so far with our budget ask, but I'm incredibly disheartened to hear the amount of pleading necessary to push you to consider funding some of the things we asked for, such as our necessary nursing staff to support our school. Did you know the state recommendation for school nurses is 1 nurse per 750 students? In the case of larger schools, 1 nurse per school. We have 81 schools in our district and only 11 nursing positions under the WSFCS umbrella. The nurses in those positions serve 1 to 2 schools each. They are caring for thousands of students, greatly surpassing the state's ratio recommendation. The other schools are served by 31 health department nurses, and they serve multiple schools each. If WSFCS district had more nursing positions, the health department nurses wouldn't have to care for so many schools. Plus, these nurses are often pulled out to go to other duties assigned by the health department, leaving gaps in care. School health isn't their only priority. I want to talk about our most vulnerable student population, our EC students. These students come to us with a diverse amount of health needs, and we need to be able to provide the support and care for them. Our EC schools have 1 nurse, and their day is overwhelmingly packed with medication administration, tube feedings, catheterizations, trach care, and more. We need more than 1 nurse in these positions. We also have more EC students than ever attending our traditional schools, which is great. However, most of these students still carry with them health challenges that require medical attention. If there isn't a full-time nurse on staff, educators will be required to perform medical procedures, which is vastly out of the scope of what educators should have to do. Our students with medical challenges deserve services to be provided to them by highly trained medical professionals. In fact, all of our students deserve health services to be provided to them by highly trained medical professionals. Quick example, if a student goes to the office with an injury, they go see the nurse, they are meeting with someone who truly knows what they're looking at when they see the injury. They can make a proper assessment and give appropriate aid. They are trained to triage the situation, unlike most of our wonderful front office staff who fill in with the responsibility in the absence of the nurse. But getting a proper assessment aid could also lead to those students returning back to class versus being sent home over something that the trained eye is minor enough for them to safely return. Nurses can keep students in class and give them that valuable instructional time. Nurses also serve our staff, making sure they are physically well and able to be in the classroom. With mental health conditions on the rise, we need trained staff in our schools to provide support during times of mental health crisis. School nurses can serve as an additional mental health resource for both students and staff, providing a safe space and physical reassurance. School nurses are more than just ice packs and Band-Aids that some people think they are. They're a vital resource in keeping our students and staff healthy and safe and in our schools. Please keep this in mind with future. Thank you.
Good evening. Dr. Mark Oliver, 9465 Wildflower Woods Way, Louisville. Good evening, Commissioners. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak in this forum. My name is Dr. Mark Oliver, and I'm a board member of Life Winston-Salem, Inc. Life stands for Living is Finally Enjoyable, and we're a nonprofit organization whose mission is to provide transitional housing for homeless families with children, while aiding them in the process of obtaining permanent, affordable housing. I realize I'm preaching to the choir because you guys probably are aware of the challenges more than I am, but I would like to restate those challenges if I could. Since the pandemic, there has been a significant increase in the unsheltered population. Unsheltered in this case refers to homeless people who reside in spaces that are not intended for human habitation. This includes cars, parks, sidewalks, abandoned buildings, campgrounds, or even on the streets. Sheltered homeless people are able to reside in shelters and thus qualify to do so. Pre-pandemic, the unsheltered population of homeless constituted about 10 to 15% of the homeless population here in Forsyth County. As of now, the unsheltered population is about 50 to 55% of the homeless population. That is a problem for all of us. These statistics come from the Winston-Salem Forsyth County Continuum of Care, the COC report, which concludes by saying that more services with experience or focus on serving unsheltered families must be provided. Project Hope is a program offered by Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools dedicated to ensuring that all children experiencing homelessness have access to the educational resources and materials that are allowed by law, entitled under federal law. According to Project Hope, there are approximately 1,200 enrolled students in Winston-Salem Forsyth County schools that are dealing with the condition of homelessness. 1,200. That's a staggering number, and that number really drew our attention. So much so that we've resolved that one of our goals is going to be to have a significant effect on that number in the next 5 years. The board of directors of Life is made up of attorneys, healthcare professionals, community activists, financial professionals, business people, and some who have even experienced childhood homelessness themselves. We placed First Family in transitional housing in May of this year, and our goal is to place 5 more families by year-end 2025. Thank you for considering our application for appropriations, for special appropriations, and we look forward to working with the county to help our most vulnerable citizens. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Virginia Brown, 132 Mill Pond Drive, 27106. I'm here today as a taxpayer, a constituent in District B, and an unaffiliated voter. But most importantly, I'm here today as an almost 10-year educator. As you've heard tonight, Forsyth County is facing a high turnover of teachers. I'm not there yet, but each year it challenges me. Many are retiring early, leaving the state, or leaving education entirely. I can name friends of mine who, as soon as they got their master's degree, one's moving this summer to Texas, another already moved to Virginia, another moved to Georgia. Some are living near Charlotte so they can cross the state line and go to South Carolina. Much of this is a trickle-down effect of our General Assembly, as you know, refusing to adequately fund our schools. While it shouldn't have to fall to the local government to provide the increased funding, it's not fair. The funding's not coming anytime soon from the state, and we need you. We need your support. In fact, the General Assembly is diverting millions of dollars to private schools, while the schools in our community remain underfunded. One thing our district and Superintendent McManus are trying to do to decrease turnover, and it's just one thing, is increase teacher supplements and restore advanced degree pay for teachers like me who have a master's degree in their subject area, but who are not compensated for it. This would prevent more teachers from leaving the school system, state, or education entirely. The county can slow the teacher exodus, because it's not a shortage, it's an exodus, that the rest of the state is experiencing by filling the gap that the state refuses to fill. 4 out of 7 of our commissioners have close ties to education, either past teaching, school board, or superintendent experience, or they have family members who have worked in education. I know that you all understand the value of experienced, expert teachers in the classroom, and so do our students. I'm thinking about a postcard I received for Teacher Appreciation this week, and it just said, "Dear Ms. Brown, thank you for not quitting. All of my middle school teachers quit." And at first I laughed a little bit, but then I really just wanted to cry because of how sad it was. Our students are watching as well. This impacts them every single day when their teachers are leaving halfway through the year. How are they going to maintain the focus and the increase in proficiency when they're getting new teachers all of the time who don't know them, who don't have that relationship with them? Because ultimately it's the 50,000 students in our district who pay the price. When the 7,500 employees, classified and certified, tasked with educating them, do not receive the resources they need to help their students thrive and become contributing members to society. And as Chairman Martin, you said yourself, quote, "Children are the future of democracy. Our country is going to be dependent upon youth and how they grow up and what they can do." And I'll end with, back in 2018, the county commissioners told us to just ask when it came to increasing teacher pay in this district, and this is us asking. Thank you.
Our next speakers are Paula Presley, Dennis Sykes, and Ashley Cooper.
Good evening. I'm Paula Presley, 600 South Main Street, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, 27103. And I'm here tonight representing Old Salem Museums and Gardens. And greetings, commissioners and staff, and thank you. We deeply appreciate the special appropriations granted over years to ensure that we continue to present an authentic view of the rich cultural history of early Southern life here at Salem to diverse audiences. Ask nearly anyone who grew up in Winston-Salem, Forsyth County, what was one of their best childhood memories, and we bet that a third grade field trip to Old Salem would undoubtedly be in the top 3 answers, along with the teacher that accompanied them. For decades, school children from Forsyth County have had the opportunity to learn North Carolina and American history through a firsthand experience during a field trip at Old Salem, and learning about how our forebears made everything needed for living and for thriving in the community of Salem, Forsyth County, from the 1760s into the 20th century. It is so inspiring to hear the passionate voices of educators here tonight, and we at Old Salem are doing all we can to provide additional resources and to work collaboratively with the educational community here. All children today should have the opportunity to have such a rich educational resource right in the heart of their city, as we do here in Winston-Salem. And we believe there should be no barriers such as ticket prices, the lack of school bus transportation, needed facility repair, or additional staffing at Old Salem to stand in the way of this enormous educational opportunity. Through collaboration with the Winston-Salem Forsyth County School System, and especially working together with Mary Courtney Tuck, Director of Social Studies, we have focused on developing a pilot program to fund increased field trips for Title I third graders. Funding will allow 50% of the Title I third graders from the 29 Title I schools in Forsyth County to experience field trips at Old Salem for a reduced price of $6 per ticket. And also, very important, will fund bus drivers and bus transportation to our historic site up to $200 per bus trip, as long as the funds, as long as we have the funds, which has been a major barrier and a challenge since 2020. We are also seeking to improve the quality of media technology at our Gray Auditorium for in-person programming, which includes the Title I students, and to make all our programming more accessible by live streaming and recording. The requested funding will support Old Salem educators, tour guides, and interpreters, helping us to both hire and retain outstanding staff to provide programs for Title I students and all visitors to Old Salem, and helping us to build back from dramatic losses we took while being fully or partially closed due to the pandemic from 2020 to 2022. One more sentence. All the funds we are requesting this year will help us to effectively counter the many obstacles, including the ticket costs, the bus transportation, that have been barriers to the Title I students who certainly deserve a lot better. These barriers have prevented them from learning and experiencing the important history and heritage of Old Salem, our community, and our country. And we thank you in advance for giving our request your most serious consideration.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Dennis Sykes. I live at 811 West 5th in Winston-Salem. My comments are on the $20 million funding request from our school board. I've just finished my third year as a volunteer with the Reading Warriors program, tutoring first graders at two of the neediest Title I elementary schools in the system. I've seen up close the conditions in which some students have to learn and which some teachers have to teach. Each one of you knows that the schools desperately need the additional funding that's been requested by the school board. We'd all love it if the state would come through with the money what they're supposed to do, but we can't wait on our friends in Raleigh to develop a conscience. I've heard some of you say the budget's tight, not this year, or maybe we can do more next year. Until then, well, I begin to think next year may never get here. Until then, how many pre-K classes will not be taught? How many more classes will graduate with a lesser education than they could have received? How many more students won't learn, won't learn to read, will get frustrated and drop out? How many more excellent teachers, like the ones Mr. Fields mentioned, will decide they can't support their families on a teacher's salary? You may have heard the chants from the group as we arrived here this evening. If you don't, here it is. It's very simple, very catchy, almost an earworm. What do we want? School funding. When do we want it? Now. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Good evening. My name is Ashley Cooper, and I live at 636 Grayland Street in Kernersville. And I am the new executive director of the Shepherd Center of Kernersville. And we are requesting $25,000 to support our senior center operations, which are crucial to the well-being and enrichment of our aging community. As shared in the description of the request, we receive funding from the state through the Home Care and Community Block Grant Program and the state's general purpose funds. This funding counts for less than 10% of our total operating budget. Without your support, we might not be able to continue providing our services at current levels. The Shepherd Center of Kernersville is an interfaith ministry of volunteers that champions and sustains adults who are aging or with disabilities. We do this while providing life enrichment programs through our senior center. Additionally, we offer 17 different direct care services geared towards supporting older adults so that way they can successfully age in their home and communities. And most importantly, by offering adults opportunities to volunteer. The Shepherd Center of Kernersville Senior Center has been certified as a Senior Center of Excellence since 2008 and was recently recertified at this level in 2023. We were the first to achieve this designation in the county. Last year, over 2,800 adults 55 plus participated in nearly 3,200 programs at the center. We strive to support not only those 55 and their caregivers, but also those in Walkertown, Blues Creek, Colfax, and Oak Ridge. As the Shepherd Center of Kernersville looks to the future, we know that the needs of our aging, disabled adults and their caregivers are growing. We continue to look for ways to create inclusive, supportive environments to be a beacon of hope and connection. Again, thank you for supporting not only the Shepherd Center of Kernersville, but the older adults in our community as well. Thank you.
The next speakers are Margaret Collins, Calvin Patterson, and Laura Kinsell Ball.
Good evening, Chairman Martin and County Commissioners. I'm Margaret Collins. I'm the founding executive director of the Center for Creative Economy, and my address is 5212 Cedarwood Creek Drive. Thank you for your support of our organization for the past 4 years. We have worked really closely with the county's Community and Economic Development Department to provide services that support current and future entrepreneurs and small businesses in Forsyth County. And we ask for your support to continue this work. It will allow the organization to host the 9th annual Velocity Creative Business Accelerator and the 5th year of the Kinetic Boot Camp. Our programs provide inception stage business training and expand the capacity for creatives and artists to become viable entrepreneurs and business leaders right here in Forsyth County. We deliver robust curriculum and customized mentoring to fulfill our mission to launch, accelerate, and grow entrepreneurs and businesses. In these early stages, training is so important. It is vital for the successful launch of business of a company. And CCE drives economic development and market traction for these participants. 2025 is a pivotal year for CCE because we are now customizing our curriculum and pairing it with mentors who can help an entrepreneur learn and launch from the place where they are right now. So we customize it as they're coming into our programs. CCE is also working as a leader in our ecosystem here in Forsyth County to position the county as the most conducive place for startups and entrepreneurs to succeed at every stage in a business life cycle. To achieve this, we are collaborating with Greater Winston-Salem, Inc., Winston Starts, Flywheel, Winston-Salem State Enterprise Center, the Triad Women and Minority Business Expo, the Black Chamber, Winston-Salem Black Chamber, and Hustle Winston-Salem. And our impact has been huge to date. We have 126 companies that are launched. They've earned $24 million in revenue. They have gotten investment of about $30 million, and they've created 269 jobs. And 64% of these people are women business owners, and 40% are minority founded and people of color. We focus on customized educational entrepreneurial education, the launching of new business, and retooling of existing small businesses.
Our focus areas are apparel, fashion and design, content creation, digital tools and media, creative health tech, wellness and beauty, the arts and entertainment industry, those businesses that are in those industries, and culinary and food innovation. With Forsyth County funding this year, we will continue the vital support and services we deliver to the entrepreneurial community. Thank you. With your support, we are succeeding. Thank you.
Good evening, Chairman Martin, Vice Chairman Wisenhut, Commissioners McDaniel, Linville, Woodbury, and Bessie. Good to see everyone. Congratulations to retiring county manager and welcome to the new county manager. I'm Calvin Patterson. I am president of the Winston-Salem Black Chamber of Commerce. My address is 1922 South Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, Winston-Salem 27106. Myself, along with 5 other board members, one of which is here tonight, Lynetta Blakeney, we, along with our administrative assistant, Joy, make the magic happen. We're a 501c6 nonprofit organization established in 2002. And even though we've been around for 20 plus years, a lot of folks don't know that there is a Winston-Salem Black Chamber of Commerce. Well, we're starting to change that. We're changing that through partnerships, among them the Center for Creative Economy with Margaret Collins, who just spoke, the Winston-Salem Symphony, Winston-Salem State Small Business Technology Development Center, as well as Greater Winston-Salem, almost repeated myself. Bottom line is we do what we do because of partnerships and collaboration. We have a signature training program called the Road to Business Resilience that was started in the midst of the pandemic in 2002. And with that signature program, we have made the Triad Business Journal's Book of List for 2023-24 for the Inno Advocacy Group, which basically means we help startup organizations. So out of 25 Inno advocacy organizations, we were number 11 on the list. And a lot of that came through hard work, commitment of the board, as well as our members. We have 100 plus members at this point. We just recently started a youth empowerment initiative. So as I was listening to the previous speakers talking about the future and youth, our Vice President, Gloria Hairston, has spearheaded this youth empowerment initiative where we're reaching out to young people between the ages of 13 and 18 and giving them the fundamentals to be successful entrepreneurs. Yes, there are actually young people who are already in business and thinking of going into business. So certainly we want to help establish businesses, but we're looking at helping the future, laying the foundation for successful entrepreneurship in the future. Finally, we are submitting for the first time a special appropriations request to roll out IBM Skills Build. We are in the city of Winston-Salem's workforce development. We're in the city of Winston-Salem's strategic plan for workforce development. So our initiative involving Skills Build is going to allow us to purchase computers and hire a part-time facilitator to teach technical skills, technology, to young folks, to not so old, not too young folks like myself, and whoever might need it. So we are grateful for the opportunity to speak. And in closing, as a spouse of a retired educator for 20 plus years, yes, we want to be at the top of your decision-making list for the special appropriations, but fund those teachers. Let's look out for the teachers. Thank you.
Good evening. Laura Kinselbear, Vice President with McCormick Barron, and I'm joined by T.T. Parman with the Housing Authority of Winston-Salem. Thank you very much for having us tonight. It is my privilege and honor to work beside our partners at the City and the Housing Authority of Winston-Salem on this important mixed income redevelopment and neighborhood revitalization, the Choice neighborhood of Winston-Salem. McCormick Barron is the most experienced choice neighborhood developer in the country, with 16 choice neighborhoods completed or in progress, like the one in Winston-Salem. The choice neighborhood plan is to replace 199 Cleveland Avenue Homes public housing units built in the 1950s with 406 new market standard apartments in a mixed income model that will range from market rate rents to rent assisted clients of the Housing Authority. The development also includes a new clubhouse, fitness center, outdoor gathering spaces, children's playgrounds, ample parking, an elevator building for seniors, and the new Ashley Elementary School. The City and Housing Authority fought hard to win this $30 million grant, being turned down twice before winning the award in 2019, just before the construction market went haywire during and after the global pandemic. HUD recognized this, and subsequent grantees have been awarded $50 million. So that's what we're up against. We did successfully apply for and receive a $5 million supplemental grant from HUD last year. And we've applied for another $2.5 million supplemental grant that we're waiting to hear about. And the city has also been very generous in this project. Just a few months ago, we completed phase 1, 81 new apartments called the Brown School Lofts in honor of Robert Washington Brown and his lifelong dedication and contribution to public education in East Winston. Brown School Lofts achieved National Green Building Standard certification and is already over half leased, and the interest has been phenomenal. We now embark together with the Housing Authority on demolishing about half of Cleveland Avenue Homes and preparing a clean and buildable site to prepare for a financial closing on the next phase of housing. The packet that you received includes a few photos of the new Brown School Lofts, the ribbon cutting ceremony that we just had, the new branding, and the next steps to get to a financial closing. We are proud to have achieved almost 20% of the contract dollars going to minority-owned businesses and 10% going to women-owned business. We also far exceeded the Section 3 goal with almost 70% of labor hours worked by low-income residents, and we plan to continue that track record on the future phases. Cleveland Avenue Homes was built under the old urban village model, has no parking and lots of unusable space between buildings that also ends up being indefensible. The new plan brings back connectivity by creating a new street and connecting it to the surrounding streets, adding parking, new sidewalks, curbs, and streetlights, as well as all new utilities. The combination of 114 new high-quality housing units and new street and public improvements is a much-needed investment in East Winston, and we greatly appreciate the county's support. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me ask our clerk, how many more cards? We've gone for 2.5 hours. I just want to check on how many cards. We may need a
We have
break, but
15 more cards.
15 more cards. We're looking at 45 minutes. Need for a break? Here, break, yes. Okay. Let's take a very quick, maybe 7. Let's try 8 minutes. 8 minutes. heard from organizations and different things that are non-schools, for example. And we're going to do those first, and then we'll end up at the end. So I think we're ready to go.
The next speakers are Tim Storhoff, Darla Nolan, and Roddy Roberts.
Tim Storhoff with the Winston-Salem Symphony, 301 North Main Street, number 1901, Winston-Salem 27101. Good evening, commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight and for your patience. I'm here not just as a symphony staff member, but as a passionate advocate for the positive impact the performing arts have on our community. I'm here to urge you to support the symphony's special appropriations request, to support our programming, and specifically the creation of a new series of family concerts. The symphony has long been a cornerstone of cultural enrichment in Forsyth County, and this new initiative aims to extend that enrichment to our youngest residents and their families. With your support, we can create a series of concerts that are affordable, accessible, and truly inclusive. The proposed series will kick off on October 5th and 6th at Callidium with a performance entitled Sleepover at the Museum that will allow children to explore the museum and experience a concert. We'll continue in May with a performance of Peter and the Wolf at Brendel Recital Hall that involves theatrics and multiple pre-concert activities. They'll also allow students to pick up an instrument and get the experience of playing and developing a passion for music. Our symphony has a proven track record of boosting our county's economy by attracting audiences far and wide. In our most recent season, under the inspiring leadership of new music director Michelle Merrill, we welcomed ticket buyers from 55 North Carolina counties and 37 states. Michelle is a parent of 2 young boys that are preschool aged, and she's dedicated to ensuring that all parents like her in our community have the chance to share high-quality live music with their children. The concert series is more than entertainment. It's an investment in the future. It's about creating memories and community connections and making sure that every child, regardless of their family's financial situation, can experience the magic of live music. The Pay What You Can model is a critical component of this initiative, ensuring that financial barriers do not prevent any family from attending. The approach aligns with our values of inclusivity and accessibility, ensuring that every child has the chance to be inspired by the arts. In closing, I urge you to support this funding request. Your support will make a meaningful difference in the lives of thousands of Forsyth County residents. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, commissioners. Bring that down a little bit. Thank you for allowing me this opportunity to speak. My name is Darla Nolan, address 5016 Old Walkertown Road, Winston-Salem, North Carolina. I'm here today as a new business owner. I've been operating my child care center in Winston-Salem for about a year now. It has been a journey, and I want to acknowledge all the people that spoke before me and their issues, and I know they're critically important, and I know you have difficult decisions to make, as I heard those, but I want to focus your attention a little bit on early childhood, on those critical years, 0 to 5. We also serve all the way up to 12 in our after-school programs. As a new business owner, I am working payroll to payroll. You know, you often hear people are working paycheck to paycheck. I'm working payroll to payroll. I need your help. I need the community's help. Place matters, if you've heard that phrase. I am in Old Walkertown. I'm in the community. I'm serving the population and the families that are really in need. 90% of the children that we serve are receiving vouchers. They're also what you might consider a marginalized population, children of color, special needs. The teachers, I have about 9 teachers, and we're recently bringing on 1.5 more, if you can put a teacher in half. Our teachers, the skill level is not up to par with the needs of the children. And what I've been seeing is the cycle of children from daycare to daycare because that skill level and the teachers aren't adequate to serve their needs. I feel like I am in crisis as a daycare owner, and I have the easy part. The teachers and the staff I have are exhausted. And today I'm here to give my support to Forsyth County Smart Start program and their new initiative, Career Pathways Initiative. They are really focusing on workforce development. And when I say crisis, I mean crisis. I am one teacher away from probably closing my center. And we recruit, it takes us months to recruit another teacher. And, you know, we're lucky if that teacher has that skill level that's required for the credentialing or licensure. The Career Pathway Initiative, the program ultimate goal is to equip participants with an associate degree, and they are going all the way back into high school and trying to recruit students, graduating students. It will also support the credentialing that's needed and the hands-on preparation that teachers so badly need. I'm sorry. And so this is so critical to support this initiative. The workforce that is needed is also in line with the vision and the strategic goals of the Winston-Salem and Forsyth County, in that we want, I'm sorry, I didn't get a clock, so I don't know the time.
Yeah, it's 3 minutes. You're done. I'm sorry, when the beep wasn't very loud, I was just going to ask you to wrap it up.
And so I do want to say this initiative is in line with the strategic vision and the priorities to, by 2030, to become a top mid-sized city and equitable community and the best place to raise families. And if the workforce for early child care and priority K initiatives are not in place, how will you accomplish your goals? And now is the time to develop this workforce.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I think Roddy Roberts has already left. So the next speakers are Dan Kelly, Daryl Head, and English Bradshaw.
Good evening.
Evening.
Chairman Martin, thanks. Thank you so much, all of you, for the opportunity to speak here tonight and for considering these applications. I'm Dan Kelly, President and CEO of IFB Solutions. We're located at 7730 North Point Drive in Winston-Salem 27106. You know, and as an organization, we're coming up on our 88th birthday here this summer in Forsyth County. And Forsyth County has always been our base or our home for the organization. We've created thousands of opportunities for people who are blind, thousands of job opportunities over our history, 1,500 of those in the last 12 years. And currently, we sustain employment for people who are blind, about 280 individuals who are blind across our network, the majority of those right here in Winston-Salem at our headquarters operation. And we're fortunately an economic driver for the community, bringing this budget year $78 million in federal contract opportunities that creates and sustains that employment for people who are blind right here. One of the things that we're looking at doing, we've had a challenging last few years, like many organizations, many not-for-profit organizations, many for-profit businesses, but is to have looked at consolidating our operations in Winston-Salem And we need your help in doing that. And we've had the opportunity to bring a lot of contract opportunities here that will create more opportunities. And it's great to be thinking about expansion and growth again of job creation for this population that is 70% of which is not participating in the workforce. So there's always a constant need to create more opportunities for people who are blind. When you think about a 4% unemployment rate and 7 out of 10 Americans who are blind aren't working. Great to be thinking about how together this community can help create more jobs for people who are blind. And so we're going to be expanding capacity with these funds to create more of our complex textile gear for our men and women in uniform. Much of what we do in Winston-Salem is military textiles that supports our troops and our national security effort. And we'll be able to sustain and grow many of these jobs for people who are blind that need our community support the most. And by consolidating our footprint, of course, our plan is to be here another 88 years, make it somebody else's problem right after I retire, how many ever years from now that is. So to keep our competitive advantage by consolidating our facility footprint right here in the Winston-Salem market. So we're thrilled to have this opportunity to talk with you and lead our case for this support. And come out and see us again. Had many of you out to see us, and we appreciate the opportunity to have you out again to see our operations and our plans.
Thank you.
Good evening, Chairman Martin and Commissioners. My name is Darrell Head. I'm the President and CEO of the YMCA of Northwest North Carolina. Our offices are at 775 West End Boulevard here in Winston-Salem. Our organization has been serving Forsyth County since 1888, and we serve 38,000 members and an additional 50,000 program participants just here in Forsyth County. No one has ever turned away from the YMCA due to the inability to pay for services. I'm here today to talk with you about the Reach Center at the Winston Lake location on Waterworks Road. The branch of the YMCA has been a pillar of the community, of the East Winston community, for over 4 decades, providing quality programs and safe spaces for community residents of all ages. As you know, East Winston struggles with underdevelopment and is one of the least economically mobile communities in the country, requiring greater investment to support social and economic opportunities for residents. The Reach Center will bring transformational impact to the local community through its state-of-the-art, renovated facility, intergenerational programming, and community partnerships, uniquely targeting the particular challenges facing East Winston. The Reach Center will function as a one-step hub for offering access to medical and educational services. We will also use integrative health models that utilize research and social determinants of health, the non-medical factors that influence health outcomes. This holistic approach involves a variety of factors, including access to employment and housing, healthy food, financial literacy, child care, preschool education, and the removal of barriers that keep people trapped in poverty. The Reach Center is designed to increase economic mobility in East Winston, to reduce the correlation between one's zip code of birth and one's economic and health outcomes. Critically, the YMCA will leverage key community partnerships to generate these outcomes, creating a network of support in East Winston. You know the YMCA for youth programs, after-school, childcare, summer camp, teen work. All these programs will be represented at the Reach Center with strong partnerships with Winston-Salem Forsyth County School, the Police Department, and the Sheriff's Department. And this year we merged with Bill McLean's GUIDE program and is now a YMCA program. We're also adding teen mental health programming and are putting together a partnership for preschool with Smart Start funded by United Way. You know the Y is for its role in delivering wellness and healthy living. This is to be represented at the Reach Center as well, but also in addition of a Novant, full-service Novant healthcare clinic. You know the Y is a major provider of adult and senior programming. Goodwill will add to our offerings with workforce development and adult education. It was an honor to see some of you this morning at our groundbreaking. We're starting construction on this project this summer. The county has already committed ARPA funds to this project for HVAC replacement. We've run into a challenge with piping under the building and are seeking special appropriations to help solve this issue. Thank you for all you have done for this important project, and thank you for consideration in helping solve these unexpected issues. 100 years ago, the YMCA opened its door to the community's first branch serving African Americans. Today, this Reach Center is a continuation of the Y's legacy of service, meeting the needs in the heart of East Winston-Salem, as we all try to accomplish our mission of helping all people reach their God-given potential in spirit, mind, and body. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speakers are Abria Armstrong, Joy Nelson Thomas, and Mason Stevens.
Evening, County Commissioners. My name is Abria Armstrong. I reside at 51 East 4th Street, 27101. And I come to you as Executive Director, the first Executive Director, thanks to ARPA dollars, so shout out to y'all for that, for Tricultural Arts, which we have requested $101,000 in special appropriations in support of our Shotgun House project. The Shotgun House is a 100-year-old Black-built, Black designed, and Black occupied house in the first planned Black community in Winston-Salem of Happy Hill. And if I may speak to you all candidly for a moment, as I'm sure you heard with my address, I live around the corner. And I was outside and about 5:15, a group, like a long line of red shirts, like starts walking by with all these signs talking about public education. And I will admit, at first I was a little concerned for like speaker purposes, like, ooh, you know, but I knew that they would be setting the table for the conversation and the things that I'm here to share with you all about the Shotgun House. So to that point, you've heard many a times tonight about the value of public education. You've also heard from our Collidium, or as well as Muse Winston-Salem, even Old Salem community members about the value of culture and how that needs to be supported. And where that comes together for the Shotgun House is with this special appropriations money, we will be bringing groups of our kids, Winston-Salem Forsyth County School students to be specific. Dr. Fabi Williams is in fact one of our board members. And part of the 101 will be used to support Title I school field trip fees to come to the Shotgun House, as well as the programming director who will actually create the content from which, or through which they will be able to experience the richness of Black culture here. I also want to emphasize that we literally break ground on this project next week, or not even next week, actually this week. I'm like, oh, this is next week, this week. And so we're grateful to the city of Winston-Salem for supporting that. And we are also grateful for you all because now we'll be able to truly activate that space. We're building it, we're rehabbing it, reconstructing it. And now when I really think about the ecosystem in which the Shotgun House thrives in, Winston-Salem is a city of materiality, of preservation. And so whether you're thinking about Old Salem, which brings in $40+ million a year annually to our economy, and I think about how much preservation and intentionality is placed in those edifices, and I ask myself, and even when I think about Innovation Quarter, or even the building that I live in, the Kempton, I think about the economic development opportunities and preservation, and I ask myself, where is the intentionality behind doing this for Black spaces? And I'll close by saying only 3% of historical landmarks in the US are Black focused. 3%. We can be a part of that and we can change that. So I thank you all for considering the $101,000 for Tricultural Arts. Thank you.
Good evening, County Commissioners. I'm Joy Nelson Thomas, address 1100 West 1st Street. And we have Brittany Dent, our Director of Programs, Karina Sherrill, and Jasmine Blackshear. We also had a lead parent and girl here, but they got hungry and tired, so we sent them home. Thank you for considering our special appropriation funding and the opportunity to speak this evening. We're asking for our first ask of $35,000, which would help for the support and the expansion of our program operations and address transportation needs for students in an effort to reduce the barriers for outreach in our Community Lead program. Learning Every Day, Accomplishing Dreams is an evidence-based program that provides innovative leadership and personal development program for girls between the ages of 9 and 16. We give girls the foundation that they need to find their voice, to counter bullying, and to challenge peer pressure, avoid risk behaviors such as smoking, drinking, and dropping out of school and teen pregnancy, and for them to lead a chart of positive course in their futures.
This work is done directly in Title I schools, as well as 3 of the 5 cottages at Cross North Children's Home and in the community. We have continued to see alarming data, like 57% of middle school girls have considered suicide, and this is a record high. 40% of young girls feel unhappy at least 4 days a week, and 79% of young girls say all the pressure makes them want to explode. Last year, we served 353 girls from 9 local Title I schools and provided 11,531 support hours. With this special appropriation funding, we can serve and support even more girls in our community.
And so what I say to you is that we cannot keep looking away. We have to lead the way. Thank you again for your time and consideration.
Hello, everybody. I'm Mason Stevens, and I'm residing at 2931 Birchwood Drive. That's 27103. I'm going to try and tap into the energy I had at 6 and get through this. So thank you all very much for your time and the opportunity to share this request with you. I'd like to highlight the importance of one of the organizations I work with. It's a local nonprofit called the Winston-Salem Permaculture Collective. There are 21 food deserts in Winston-Salem, and we currently rank 7th nationwide for food hardship and child food insecurity, according to the USDA Food Access Research Atlas. In these areas, residents without cars face challenges accessing affordable, quality, and fresh food. The Winston-Salem Permaculture Collective does important work in city food deserts for our underserved communities in Winston-Salem by planting micro orchards throughout the city, as well as providing educational programming and workshops around growing food sustainably. These spaces are key pollinator points and important supplements to the diets of our citizens that do not have easy access to fresh and nutritious food. These spaces help conserve biodiversity by interplanting native plants and combating the heat island effect, as in street trees, reducing the reflection of heat via concrete, further benefiting the community's health, safety, resilience, and well-being. Our flagship garden, the Southside Food Forest, has a donation pantry that serves 250 families in the area, and we host 70 varieties of native fruit and perennial plants on a quarter-acre plot, so this is clearly a scalable model for the urban environment. Our organization has several annual events to raise awareness for our programs, promote community engagement, and educate the community about sustainable gardening practices. Additionally, our spaces help retain talent to the area and create a feeling of beauty, vibrancy, and diversity. This year, we're asking you to help fund 2 programs, the first of which we established last year, which is called the Help a Neighbor Plant a Fruit Tree program. This program simply helps install native fruit trees to area citizens in these food deserts. It includes several support species to help the pollinators and ward off other pests. This would go a long way in contributing to the city's resiliency goals. We intend to help 250 homes in the South Side, Waughtown, and East Salem, and East Winston specifically. The program will include maintenance of the fruit trees for the first year. The second program is a new program for us. We intend to start a composting program at our community garden, and we intend to collect the food scraps from 50 homes nearby. We already have a compost on site, however, we intend to expand that significantly. Funding these programs would dramatically increase our ability to help this community and achieve our mission of reducing food insecurity while educating our citizens. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you.
Our next speakers are Gary Stiers, Dr. Alicia Bailey, and Rebecca Clark.
All right. Gary Stiers, Fire Chief of the Clemens Fire Department, 5931 James Street. I'll be really brief because I know this is the start of the long week for everyone. So on behalf of Commissioners, on behalf of the Board of Directors, Clemens Fire Department, thank you for your support. The board's proposed increase helps with equipment replacement, retention of employees, and some of the rising costs that everyone basically is dealing with these days. We did have a public meeting to discuss this increase. It was advertised in the newspaper, in social media, and to our attendees that attend our corporation board meetings so that we could advertise as well. And believe it or not, our social media post actually reached over 3 times that our normal posts do, so we felt pretty good about it, but only had about 26 folks that attended. Quite a few of those were Fire Department and Village of Clemens and Forsyth County. But at the end of the day, at the meeting, as we proposed sort of what we were going through and some of the faults of the board, at the meeting, no one spoke in opposition to this increase. We understand that there are ideas for the future of the fire service in Clemens and in Forsyth County, and these discussions are needed, and definitely would love to be a part of those as we move forward into the future. But right now for us in Clemens, we definitely have a significant need, an immediate need basically, for help with some of our failing aging equipment, employee retention, and the ability to absorb the increasing call volume, which all compounds all our issues that we have to deal with all the things that we have to struggle with and overcome. At the end of the day, thank you for your consideration, and thank you for the time that you invest in all the budget proceedings this week. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I wish I had a Diet Coke to give everybody, especially if it would help my grant. So good afternoon, Dr. Martin and County Commissioner Board. Thank you for the opportunity to speak on behalf of the Legacy Foundation for Women. I'm Dr. Alicia Morris Bailey, 216 Act Drive in Winston-Salem, 27107. I am the president and founder of the Legacy Foundation for Women. The Legacy Foundation is a grassroots 501c3 philanthropic organization that celebrates and invests in the lives of women and girls in our community through scholarships and education, award recognition, leadership, and economic development, humanitarian efforts, and more. Our mission is to invest in women in the community. Today, I am here to specifically seek funding for our Legacy Mom for Mom program, and we're really excited about that because I'm a new mom, so I'm excited about that. So we are specifically seeking funding for the Legacy Mom for Mom program. The Legacy Mom for Mom program is a developmental program that provides professional and career development, life skills, educational supports, internship for mothers of school-age children. The program is designed to equip mothers to achieve a higher education and leave a legacy of academic, professional, and personal success for their children. Research says when you impact the lives of parents, you change the lives of their children. Approximately 10.7 million children live in families of poverty. 41% of those children that live in poverty come from parents that do not have a higher education degree. The Legacy Foundation for Women wants to decrease those numbers by investing in mothers of school-age children to impact the economic development. But we can't do it alone. We need the support of business partners and the appropriation grant. Our program aims to break the cycle of poverty, educational inequality by providing a holistic approach for mothers seeking education. The key features of this program are educational and career development for mothers seeking a GED that leads to a 2-year or a 4-year university. It's a series of life skills support as well as college advisory. We offer wraparound services for mothers that are seeking that higher education and one-on-one mentor and internship support. In conclusion, the Legacy Foundation for Women urges you to consider supporting our program for the Mom for Mom program and investing in mothers who want to achieve a higher education. Thank you.
Good evening, Chairman Martin and commissioners and county managers and county staff. It's great to be here. Thank you for your time. I'm Rebecca Clark. I live at 1606 West Academy Street, Winston-Salem, 27103. And I'm the executive director of the Piedmont Triad Film Commission. We are a nonprofit 501c3 that works to recruit business. And this is our 30th year recruiting business. And unlike other economic development offices, our office works specifically to recruit the very lucrative industry of film, television, commercial, music video, and new media business to the area. The handout that I have for you all is why I'm here. It's the economic impact of our recruitment efforts over the years, and it's just a snippet of those years. It's from 2009 until 2016, before changes were made to our incentive. But the bottom line, economic impact of those projects that we work to recruit specifically to this area is about $99.4 million. And those aren't made up numbers because it's from the Department of Revenue, from the state, because film companies have to do an audit in order to get the film incentive. So that's why, and it's broken up into wages, goods, services, and number of people hired. And these are North Carolina expenditures too. So I'm working really hard with area representatives and our Senator Lowe and Representative Brown Lambeth to try to get the incentives better and improve upon them so that we can get more bigger impact projects like we used to get, but we're still getting commercial productions and reality series. And I was scouting with a group last Thursday and Friday. I'm scouting with another group that's going to do an independent feature today and tomorrow. And the other exciting news is there's a production company that's going to be basing in the region very soon. And they plan on doing 4 to 5 movies a year. And I'm going to make sure with all my might that they're doing them here, nowhere else in North Carolina. But anyway, your support means so much to me, and I really rely on it as a Kernersville native, current Winston-Salem resident. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for your continued support. I appreciate it.
Mr. Chairman, we have 4 speaker cards left. Daniel Ferguson, Isaac Howard. There's not a name on this, but it's for NCAE. And the last speaker is Kimberly Townsend. Come on up.
Daniel Ferguson, Smart Starter, Forsyth County, 7820 North Point Boulevard, Winston-Salem, 27106. According to the State of the Economy held on June 14, 2023 by Greater Winston-Salem Inc., Winston-Salem is aspiring to be one of the top cities to live in by 2030. In alignment with this strategic plan, Forsyth County is hoping to attract over 20,000 jobs. Goals have been set to be a more equitable community by leveraging education initiatives and community partnerships. An additional goal is to be the best place to raise a family. But in the effort to support these families, what commitment will Forsyth County make to develop an early care and education workforce? Smart Starter Forsyth County is asking you to make this commitment to those families by supporting the Career Pathways Initiative in the special appropriations of $123,000. This money will reinforce our apprenticeship program to provide a comprehensive approach to developing early educators by combining 4 key services: on-the-job training, work-based learning, professional development, and practice-based coaching. This initiative is a continuation of the work Smart Start has already begun. Through the support of Forsyth County ARPA funds, we support educators through success coaching, professional development, salary parity supplements, retention bonuses, and tuition and credentialing assistance. After 1 year's time, we see quantitative growth in the children in the classrooms with our footprint. We support early care providers by retaining the workforce in these classrooms with the average turnover of 5%, well below the 15% throughout the county. But we can do more. The Career Pathway Initiative will work to create, maintain, and sustain an early care workforce that will support the strategic goals of Forsyth County. We know early care educators do not feel properly prepared to support their stations. We will address this with practice-based coaching to manage difficult behaviors and also offer them on-the-job opportunities and training. We know early care educators are not as qualified as we like them to be. Our apprenticeship program will support them to get associate degrees and move on beyond that as well. And we also plan to support them in getting a national credential, the CDA. We need more early educators, and we know that the U.S. Census data suggests that there's a need for 2.5 childcare slots for every 10 new jobs created. In Forsyth County, we're already experiencing a pre-existing gap between 57% and 62%. We plan to close this gap by creating at least 10 new early care educators a year by 2030, but we can do more. We know Forsyth County's historically supported us through the funding, and we can create a sustainable early care workforce but that will meet the upcoming needs. Forsyth County's pre-K priority estimates that with the loss of $24 billion in federal care stabilization grants, over 90% of child care centers nationwide will be impacted. Apprenticeship can reverse this. The median return for every $100 in apprenticeship is $144. In early childhood, that's $188. Early care education is a workforce issue. And if we want families to go to work, we will support their children being supported. We ask you and we implore you to support this critical initiative. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is Isaac Howard here? Dolores Johnson.
My former superintendent. My purpose here is to help support my organization, the NCAE. I have a peculiar journey with the school system. I never wanted to teach. I was a business major. But some wonderful men and women, powerful men and women, made an investment in me. Geneva Brown, Robert Anderson, Victor and Helen Johnson, Miss DeBerry, and the list goes on. George Green. You know, I had some dynamic educators who invested in me. I owe it to them, those that are gone on, those are here, to do exactly what they did for me. My purpose, once I found out what my purpose was, to teach, to lead, and empower students, I am all in. I'm passionate about what I do. I love what I do. Never thought I'd be doing it. I was a business major. Then I went and got my master's in pastoral care and counseling. So then I landed up in the school system because a teacher had a heart attack and died. The principal needed help. I said, here am I. I'll do it. I thought I was doing it temporarily, but I wound up 16 years later, here I am. I'm just asking for your support for the NCAE school budget. Please help us out. Thank you.
As the last speaker, I'm assuming you're happy to see me. My name is Chef Kimberly Townsend with Aspire Youth and Family. Our hosting address is 501 Miller Street here in Winston-Salem. Kids at Work is a program that's been funded here for a few years now, thankfully through the JCPC fund. Our program application is really to submit and ask for additional support. What we do is provide interpersonal skills and culinary arts training for our students. We work with at-risk students ages 12 to 18, middle school, high school mainly. We teach them personal and social responsibility, reducing negative behaviors and increasing positive behaviors in a nutshell. We partner that with our culinary arts skills. We have chefs actually in the kitchen space. They teach them the basics of and fundamentals of culinary. We do not expect that all of our students are going to go to culinary school, but as I tell my kids, your parents are expecting you to move. This is an opportunity for you to learn how to live on your own. We'll take them to the grocery store and teach them how to shop on a budget. We teach diet and nutrition, all of the skills they need so that they can provide for themselves. We also expose them to different career opportunities so that they start thinking ahead. Most of our students have a 5 to 10 mile comfort zone. We take them outside of their comfort zone and let them understand that there's a bounty of opportunities for them if you just open your eyes. The funding that we're asking for is really just to be able to serve more kids. We get our students referred to us through DJJ, DSS, school SRO officers, mental and substance abuse counselors. Anyone who comes in contact with an at-risk student is welcome to send a student to us. But in that aspect, in order to serve more students, of course, we'll need more funding. So that's what we're coming to you for today, is just to ask for that continued support so that we can serve more kids the way we have. Most of our students that have taken the ServSafe exam, we have a 100% ratio on their passing of that test at a 90% grade or higher. Those students can now go into the industry, if they choose to, as skilled labor and not entry level. For a 16-year-old who's able to come in with culinary skills and leadership skills and can apply for a shift manager as their first job means a world to them. And these are the skills that we teach them. Anything that you're doing, we want you to be able to be prepared to do the best. So that's what really all we need for you today is, and I thank you for your time. It was nice to see a familiar face when I walked in the room. Aspire Youth and Family, it's Kids at Work. Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. All righty. Well, thank all of you for being here. It's been a long evening, a lot of good information, and we will actually begin tomorrow and on Wednesday, actually going over all the discussion, the information that we've had, and if we're successful, we'll actually have a budget on Thursday that will be approved during the regular meeting, but if we are not, we have 2 more weeks. It has to be done by the 27th. So, again, thanks all of you for being here, and thanks for what you do, and we'll see all of you all at 9 o'clock in the morning. Thank you.